Hey Animal Crossers, it's Tiger and welcome to the Ladybug Island full movie. Today I'll be playing every episode from my 2010s girly KIDCORE island design series so that you can watch the island be constructed from start to finish all at once. Stay tuned for the end to see the full island tour as well. This Animal Crossing island is heavily inspired by my own childhood in the 2010s, back when I was obsessed with things like Hannah Montana, Silly Band, Zebra Print, and listening to Kesha on the radio. Ladybug is basically a time capsule of that era, and I love how the island turned out. If you love Animal Crossing, you're in luck because I post tons of Animal Crossing videos, so be sure to subscribe and join your fellow Animal Crossers here on YouTube, and check out my short videos on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and here on YouTube too. I'll be starting a new island very soon, so be on the lookout for that, and if you haven't seen my Meadowcore island design series, you should check that one out too. Now grab some blankets, get comfy, maybe grab a snack and a beverage too, and get ready to enjoy the full Ladybug movie. Hey Animal Crossers, and welcome to my new island. Since I finished Lumi, my green Meadowcore island, I thought why not go ahead and start over completely again and spend hours designing another New Horizons island. I mean, I think I have plenty of time before the next Animal Crossing game comes out, considering that we didn't hear any news with the latest Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. So I'm just gonna keep designing islands in New Horizons until the next game comes out. And today we're going to begin my next island design series, and this is the very first episode. We'll be starting the island today, talking about my plans for it, decorating the island's entrance, and more. If you like Animal Crossing videos, you're in luck because I post daily shorts and weekly videos, so be sure to subscribe and join your fellow Animal Crossers. I have multiple Nintendo Switches, and this Switch had one of my abandoned islands from several months ago, so I deleted the save data and started a fresh New Horizons island. I love this game so much, and now it's just so nostalgic to play through the early stages. When it came to picking a map for this island, it was a tough decision, but I went with the option that has the plaza aligned with the airport, since I thought that it would make for a unique entrance, and it just looked super satisfying on the map itself. I was super excited and blessed by the Animal Crossing gods because I got an orange airport. It's perfect for my island theme, which you will see soon, and Pashmina and Igly are my starter villagers. They are also literally perfect for my island, and they will definitely be staying. I played through the beginnings, got my first loan from Tom Nook, and worked towards unlocking everything that I'll need to actually start designing the island, and I named the island Ladybug. You may have also noticed the iconic outfit that I wore on my last island, featuring the glowing moss headband, the leaf, and my super cute mossy dress. I really wanted to keep that same look for this island because I am just in love with the glowing moss headband, and honestly, it felt really strange and wrong whenever my character didn't have one at the beginning of this game. But I did want to change at least something about my outfit for the new island, so I decided that it would be the dress. I tried looking up Ladybug dresses that were already designed on Pinterest and in the search feature on Animal Crossing, but I just couldn't find one that felt right. I really wanted the dress to have a ladybug, so I decided to take matters into my own hands, and I attempted to design my own dress. This is the design that I ended up with, and I am very proud of it. It's got a cute heart in the front, the colors are perfect, and there is a cute ladybug on the back. I even hung it up at my Able store in hopes that my villagers will start wearing it around the island. And I uploaded it to the design portal, so here is the creator code and stuff if you would like to download it. After tons of hours of playing, I managed to hit 3 stars, which means that it's time to start decorating. If you don't know already, Ladybug is going to be a very colorful KIDCORE theme. I'm also going for a small town vibe as well, so I'm hoping to have roads and tons of different themed areas. I feel like most people associate the KIDCORE aesthetic with primary colors, but I wanted to do something different for Ladybug Island. I really loved my previous island, Lumi, because of how green it was. So I wanted this island to be really green too, and I'll be going for a green, yellow, orange and pink kind of version of KIDCORE with maybe some blues and purples as well. I hopped on Canva to make a mood board for Ladybug Island since I felt like I was struggling to describe the actual vision for this island other than just, you know, saying colors. I guess the best way that I could describe it would be to say that it's the vibe of Starburst candy. And of course, I want there to be a lot of ladybugs. I went through Pinterest, found different images, and I also used some stickers from Canva, and I just threw a bunch of stuff onto the canvas until I got the perfect mood board. I added things like color swatches, bubbles, a cherry blossom tree, and tons of patterns and stuff that I thought really portrayed the aesthetic that I want for this island. I think that my favorite part is this little rainbow worm. Let me know what you think of the mood board in the comments. I'm really curious to hear if you've ever made a mood board for an Animal Crossing island. I always make one. I feel like it helps me so much and it gets me really excited and motivated to design the island. Now, I promise we're about to get into decorating the island, but let's talk about the villager situation for just a second. Somehow, I've already managed to get 7 villagers on Ladybug that I'm going to be keeping permanently on the island. Those villagers include my 2 starting villagers, Iggly and Pashmina, and the other 5 are Bunny, Puddles, Norma, Tangy, and Annabelle. My remaining 3 dreamies for Ladybug are Biscuit, Baracalo, and Cleo. So yeah, that is the dream villager lineup for this island. We will see what happens though, because I know plans changed on my last island. Anyways, now let's get into designing the first part of Ladybug Island. Okay, Animal Crossers, now that you're all caught up with the plans and everything about Ladybug, it is time to start designing and building this place. We're going to be, of course, starting here at the island's entrance. Like I mentioned before, I really want Ladybug Island to feel like a colorful small town. I really don't want it to feel like a city or like super industrial though, so I will be using the in-game dirt pathway paired with this custom design border that I found on Pinterest. I mapped out the road coming from the airport and entrance, leading it in front of and around the plaza. I started with a 2-block wide dirt pathway just to get like the first draft, and then once I knew that this was the pathway that I wanted, I expanded it by 1 block on either side, making it a 4-block wide road. And then it was time to add in the custom road border that I downloaded, which also comes with a crosswalk, so I added a crosswalk right at the entrance, and then I placed the border along the edges of the entire pathway. I was really happy with how this was looking so far. I love the colors of the road and I think it looks really nice. There was this bridge over here though that I placed at the very beginning of the game, so I wanted to demolish it and replace it with something else that matched my island a little bit more. So I went ahead and requested demolition, and then I time traveled to the next day to get that done. I still did want a bridge in that location though, so I went ahead and replaced it with the brick bridge, which I think is so cute, and I'm planning on using the brick bridges and inclines across the entire island. Now that we have our general layout for Ladybug's entrance, I wanted to start decorating the space with plants and items. Since we had the crosswalk going across the road here, I thought that it would look good if either side just had like a nice walkway with maybe some seating. I think it's always nice to have seating or a place to wait like right outside of the airport. The villagers on your island often hang out here, so they might like to take a seat, or you might literally be waiting for a visitor coming from the airport. Although now that I think about it, it's been so long since someone actually visited my island. Anyways, I really like the green square brick code that I used here, and I think that the alternating fences really look fun. I tried to keep this area symmetrical with 2 trees on either corner, and then I placed a bench right in the middle. To make it kind of silly and lean more into the KIDCORE energy, I did include items like a tricycle, a balloon, a ladybug of course, and this adorable blue void. Across the entry road, I wanted to repeat the same walkway but like in a different font, if that makes sense. So kind of symmetrical but not exactly. I repeated the same pattern with these green bricks, and I added some trees, shrubs, and a street lamp to the same spots as the other area. I used a bubblegum machine and added some really fun designs to the ground, including this pencil and paper, which I thought was perfect. When I think of KIDCORE, I tend to reference my own childhood and personally, I associate childhood with a lot of crafting. So I really want to include a lot of craft supplies and crafting messes all around this island. To finish this area off, I added some string lights, a little bubble machine, and this cute seating area featuring 2 froggy chairs and some pom-pom purin pudding. Oh, and I also placed a slice of pie on this piece of paper because why not? I was feeling a little nervous about the island at this point, I'm not gonna lie, since I've never really tried any theme like this before. I posted a video asking for y'all's help because I needed reassurance, okay? And I also needed motivation to keep going. One of you suggested that I add in some terraforming, and I definitely agreed, so that's what I decided to work on next. Over here to the left of the plaza, right where I left off with the road, I decided to terraform a pretty big cliff. I won't be decorating the cliff in this episode, but we still needed it for today's builds and decorating. I did add 2 staircases to access the cliff. I put one in the front and then I put one back here, which I really love how it goes like directly into the bridge beneath it. Just this whole area right here with the bridge, the staircase, the 2 trees like overlooking the rest of the island. I just really like this area, okay? I can't wait to decorate around here. Let me know if you have any ideas for what exactly should go up here on the cliff. I don't really know. Anyways, to add a little bit more fun to this area, I did make 2 tiny ponds on like the ground level, and then I connected them with waterfalls and streams up on the cliff level. I found an adorable welcome sign on Pinterest, and I knew that I wanted to fit it somewhere near my island's entrance, so I thought that this spot would be the perfect place. I framed this area with some trees, shrubs, and custom codes, and then I started adding the actual welcome sign. This design is technically 3 different standee designs that all fit together, and it features Timmy and Tommy and Tom Nook himself. I love how it also says welcome to my island at the bottom, and it just matches the vibe of Ladybug so well. The colors are amazing. Not only that, but since it's a standee item, it's interactive, so it makes for the perfect photo op when you get to the island. I wanted to add some more decor to make it clear that it's a photo op, so I included a custom code with little photos on the ground, and then I added this bubbloid with another bubble machine, so it looks like the bubbloid is operating the bubble machine. It's so cute. And to top off the area, I placed an actual camera on the ground. One thing that I always forget to prioritize when I'm designing islands is practicality and functionality. I always focus too much on making the island look good, and I'm trying to be better at this, which is why I decided to build a functional crafting station here in this spot. I added some colorful and crafty designs to the ground and added in different items like a stall, my storage shed, and a crafting bench. Also, please appreciate the little cute frog design on the storage shed. I had no idea that you could customize the shed and add little designs here, so I'm really glad that I realized it because this looks so sweet. I also found this purple sign that says learn something new with a little DIY recipe on it, which is literally so wholesome and perfect for this space. This area took a lot of experimenting, I'm not gonna lie. I kept not being happy with all the different items and like where they were placed, so I just kept moving them around and trying new things until it got to a point where I actually liked it. I think my favorite small details from this little area are the mop with the yellow bucket, the colorful shovel, and also this unfolded reference sheet that I customized with a cute little flower doodle. I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely getting carried away with decorating. I was just really enjoying the process, okay? So yeah, I probably didn't need to build a whole entire park area back behind the plaza today, but I did. This also required more terraforming too, so I got out my cliffscaping tool and I made a decently sized cliff right behind and right against the plaza. I left kind of an indentation in the cliff like right here because I wanted to create another pond, and once I had a pond shape that I liked, I added some waterfalls coming into it from the cliffs above, and then I decided that it would be nice to connect this pond to the nearby river for the addition of another brick bridge. To finish off the landscaping part of building this park, I made this row of trees against the river to add a better backdrop and also just a more lush feel to the park area. For the pathway in this area, I decided to keep it really playful with these circular grass patches leading from the plaza to the new bridge. I just thought that these circle paths made it extra fun. I like how they look kind of like squiggly around the edges. I don't know what the term actually is, but you get it, okay? You get it. I know you do. Now we were ready to start adding in the actual park equipment. I placed some rocking horses, a playground gym, an elephant slide, and I also made this cool design using 3 of the tire toy items. I thought that it would make sense to have a little bicycle parking area down here too, but instead of parking an actual bike here, I just left a pretty skateboard. And to finish everything off with the park, I added a sign, a gyroid of course, and planted tons of flowers around, including up here on the cliff behind the plaza. My house was down here at this beach, but I decided to move it out of the way and keep going with decorating. I know, I need to chill, but I was so into designing this island, so I just kept going until I literally got so tired. I figured that I would get this beach done anyways since it was pretty small, and I had a really cute idea. I wanted to create a painting class hosted by a gyroid. Can you tell that I have become a huge gyroid enjoyer lately? I really want to include them everywhere on this island. I just think that they're perfect for the KIDCORE theme too, and they just add so much to each build. You might be wondering why I placed a ladybug on a stool up here if this is a painting class, and that's because the ladybug is the subject matter for the painters to paint in class. It's genius, I know. I added in tons of cute decor for this build, including 2 seating spots for the class attendees. I made sure to include a pile of cushions here too, just in case anyone wanted to pull up an extra seat. It took a really long time to find the perfect ladybug painting code, and after searching for so long through the custom portal app, I managed to find this amazing design. I included this design on one of these smaller painting sets, and then I placed it here in the form of an easel as well. I also managed to find this ladybug design code while I was searching for the ladybug painting code, and I thought that this one would be perfect for Ladybug's island flag, so I went ahead and updated that before finishing off the beach build with some final touches like this sloppy couch. No, we are still not done decorating. I know, I've decorated so much more than just the island's entrance today, but technically this is all kind of like near the entrance. Plus, I was just having fun. For the final build of this video, I'm going to design a place to go poop. I don't know why, but I really like the portable potty items in New Horizons. I think that it's the color options that we have. I don't know, but they look so satisfying to me, and I wanted to include them on my island. So I added a sink and the porta potties onto this pretty brick design code that matches with my road border. And I also added a trash area over here as well. Remember, I'm trying to make my island more functional, so I think having trash cans around will be great. Okay, Animal Crossers, I am done decorating on Ladybug Island today, and now it's time for you to see everything that I worked on in this episode. First, let me show you the island's map. I feel like we worked on so much more than I had originally planned for this episode, but I am so excited, y'all. The map looks really cool so far, and I am hyped to see how the rest of the island's layout will look. Now for the fun stuff. Here's what Ladybug's entrance looked like before I got started, and here's what the entrance looks like now. Oh my gosh, I just love the playful and fun and colorful energy of this island so far. I think that the cherry blossom trees really help pull everything together, and they just look like candy or something. I don't know, but I definitely think that I will stick to using pretty much only cherry blossoms on this island. Anyways, let's dive into the final walkthrough. We've got the entrance here with our crosswalk and the symmetrical street lamps and trees. I love how you can see the welcome to my island sign in the back. We're gonna start heading to the left here and checking out this side of the walkway. We've got so many cute design codes. Oh my gosh, speaking of that, let me just erase this. This is not supposed to be here. I replaced one of my design codes to have the ladybug painting. Anyways, let me just put the bubble machine back. Ignore the technical difficulties. Okay, back to the final walkthrough. Here is what this little walkway looks like. Super cute. I love the pie on the piece of paper here. This might be my favorite part. And then we also have our little like pond and cliff area. We didn't decorate the cliff today, but I did add some trees up here. Let me know in the comments below if you have any ideas for this. Again, here is like this little bridge and stair moment that I am just in love with. And let's head back into the actual decorated areas. Oh, this just looks so cute though. It looks so cute. So back here we do have the welcome to my island sign, which I'm just so happy with. I think that this turned out so cute with the little camera and photos. I hope that I will eventually have actual visitors on my island so that we can take photos here. Like, that would be so cute. And then down here, we're gonna go across the crosswalk again to check out the other side of this little walkway. This is the first area that we designed, so it's just got a little bench and just random things like this spilled orange juice, a gyroid, a tricycle. It looks so cute though and so colorful. I just love all the colors on this island. And don't forget that there's an actual ladybug here as well, which is so cute. I mean, at the end of this, we're gonna have to count how many ladybugs are actually on Ladybug Island. Just look at how cute this is. I love this so much. Everything looks so nice. I love the KK sliders here as well today. So let's go see the park that is right back here. Oh my gosh, I love how this looks. It looks so pretty. I'm so happy with this. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I can't wait to build more parks. I want to build like a bigger one for sure, with maybe like a sandbox or something, but this is just like a little mini park, like a tiny little park to come hang out at, and I think it turned out so good. This bridge looks amazing here, and I also added a ladder here so you can climb up onto the cliff that we made and just get like some good views up here, and you're able to see like the little pond below, the plaza, and all that good stuff. I don't know, I thought that it would be nice to add a ladder. Again, I'm really trying to make my island more practical and functional, so that was kind of why I added a ladder there. Let's head back down to the plaza and back to our entrance here to the DIY craft station. Also, I did add a hopscotch on the ground on the road there. Thank you to everyone who suggested that. But yeah, this is the crafting station. We've got our storage shed, crafting area, and a little like DIY spot, which I think is just so cute, and I think it makes a lot of sense to have here at the plaza. Let's go this way. I did add an airport sign, by the way. I don't know if I showed that before. I thought that that was really helpful and cute. So this is the potty station that we made with the toilet paper. Wait, what? Oh my gosh, there's literally a lost item on the ground, you guys. There's a lost item on the ground. I did not see that before. That is new, a new development. I'm gonna leave it there because I think it looks so cute. Imagine if you like had to leave your notebook out while you went to the bathroom. That makes sense, right? That makes sense. And then down here is our super fun ladybug painting class. I'll show you this little area first. It's just like a sloppy couch with the coconut tree, but this is the ladybug painting class with our gyroid teacher. This is so adorable. I don't know, y'all, this might be my favorite spot of the island so far. It's so small and random, but it's so cute. Look at the ladybug. Oh my gosh, I just love this so much. Also, there's a little like tiger design code in the sand, which I also love very much. And yeah, you guys, that is everything that we designed on Ladybug Island today. Hey Animal Crossers, and welcome back to Ladybug Island. Today I'm designing a school complete with a treehouse library and so much more. Thank you so much for your sweet comments on the first episode of this series. If you haven't seen that episode and want to watch me design the entrance to this island, definitely check it out. And thank you to Jess Nugget, who left a comment on the first episode suggesting the schoolhouse idea. As soon as I saw this comment, my brain thought of two very nostalgic things from my childhood: the Magic School Bus and also the Magic Treehouse book series. I loved Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus so much when I was a kid. She had the most amazing outfits, and I really admired her desire to explore. I didn't even read any of the Magic Treehouse books, but I remember the covers of them so vividly for some reason. Let me know if you read them below, and also if you enjoyed the Magic School Bus. Anyways, I decided that my goal today is to build a school with the adventurous vibes of Miss Frizzle, and I want to have a treehouse library and some sort of storytelling area. Hopefully we will reach these goals. You'll have to let me know what you think after watching the episode. If you like Animal Crossing videos, you're in luck because I post daily shorts and weekly-ish videos, so be sure to subscribe and join your fellow Animal Crossers. I play on this island a ton between episodes, and there's always a lot of things happening off screen, so I'm introducing this new segment where we'll head over to Ladybug's bulletin board before each episode, and I'll give you an update on what's happened since you've last been here. The first update is that one of you made a flag, like an actual custom flag design for Ladybug. Thank you so much to Jessica. I absolutely love this design so much. I didn't even know that we were that official, y'all, but I am very honored. Here is the custom flag. You may have seen the TikTok that I made about it a few days ago. It is so adorable and perfect for Ladybug. Thank you again to Jessica. This is definitely going to be the permanent flag for the island. My favorite detail is probably the ladybug. As you've probably been able to tell by now, I love ladybugs. I even dressed up as one as my first Halloween costume, so yeah, the lore goes deep. In villager news, sadly Ozzy has moved on to greener islands, but that does mean that I did get an open plot and I was able to go and adopt a biscuit from a treasure island. I know, Ozzy was so sweet, and I did agree with a lot of you who said that he fit pretty well into the island, but I still have zero regrets. I mean, look at how cute Biscuit is, and look at how cute his house is. Honestly, he's so underrated. That means we have 8 out of my 10 dreamies for this island. The only 2 we're missing now are Broccolo and Cleo. The last update is just that Timbra visited my campsite, and I realized I've been overlooking this queen for so long. I did not invite her to Ladybug, but I will not forget her, and hopefully we can meet again someday. Okay, Animal Crossers, I think you're all caught up now on Ladybug news, so let's finally get into crafting the perfect little schoolhouse for Ladybug Island. So last time we left off working on the right side of the plaza, and that's exactly where I wanted to pick things back up today for the school build. The main focus of my build today is the actual school building. I really had 2 options with this. I could either try to make a faux building using castle items or simple panels or stuff like that, or I could use one of the pre-existing buildings that's already on my island. I decided that I wanted to use my player house as the actual school building. I just think it gives me more flexibility with the exterior. It looks more realistic, and I love the idea of being able to decorate inside of the building too. So before even choosing where to place the school, I went ahead and customized the house to actually look like a school. I went with a pink and red exterior with a yellow door. I'm really hoping that it gives off schoolhouse vibes. Honestly, I just love the colors. It reminds me of Starburst, and that is the exact kind of aesthetic that I'm going for on this island. To set things up, I started by expanding the road from where we left off last time. I just extended it out to the edge of the plaza so that everything would line up nicely and look super satisfying. I also added the custom path border that I've been using, and then I threw in a little crosswalk here because I thought it made sense for the school area. I wanted to place the school right at the end of this road, but I needed to make a little bit more room first. I wanted to use a pretty big space of land to make the school and all of the little builds that I'm planning to go around it. So I trimmed the river off at these 2 points, and then I cleared out everything in between. That gave me plenty of space left to work with, so I went ahead and placed the house building kit right here. Now, I know it's not gonna line up perfectly with the road, and trust me, I wanted it to, but it is just not possible. The road is 4 blocks wide and the house is 5 blocks wide, so there's literally nothing I can do about it. It's just gonna have to be slightly off, and that's fine, I guess. Like Miss Frizzle said, take chances, make mistakes, get messy. After expanding the road, I'm left with these 2 spaces on either side of the road that are going to be more a part of the plaza and the entrance area, and not really in the actual schoolyard space, so I wanted to go ahead and decorate those before we started on the school and stuff. I kept things really simple, and on the left side I made a seating area with these pink plastic benches, and I made a cute pattern with some shrubs. I also reused the pattern that I made at the island's entrance with this green brick, and I'll probably be using this all around the island since I love how it looks. And I made sure to include some little bug friends to make it extra lively and fun. I alternated some green and yellow park fencing here as well, just to separate this space from the schoolyard, which will be up above. And on the right side of the road, I decided to make a cute vending area. I used another pink plastic bench against the river with this cute gyroid in a puddle. Of course, I needed vending machines, so I placed some on top of this brick, and down this way pathway, I also laid out some grassy pathway for a park fountain, which doubles as another place to sit down. I also hid a bubble machine behind this tree so that bubbles are blowing out all over the fountain, and there's a bubbleoid on the vending machine blowing bubbles too. I wanted a custom school design to put at the entrance to the school area. I couldn't find anything on Pinterest that really matched the color scheme of my island, so I used the search feature in-game to just try to find one. I came across so many cute designs, and it was honestly really hard to choose just one. I'm gonna show some of my favorites on the screen for a second here because these were all way too good and you need to see them. I ended up going with this one here that has a school bus and like the cursive school in green. I think it looked perfect considering my inspiration for this build, the magic school bus. I thought about making an actual school bus on the island, but I ended up not having room for it, so this will have to work. So I added the sign here at the entrance, and I also put a crosswalk signal because I feel like I really correlate crosswalks and crossing the street in general with childhood and with school. I don't know why, and I don't know if it's just me, but I think that crossing the street was just such a big deal when I was a kid. I'll be decorating the inside of the schoolhouse off camera. I'm planning on letting that just be a surprise for you. The first room is already fully decorated as an entirely different theme, not a school theme, and it's pretty cursed, and yeah, I'm just gonna leave it that way. I might add some school themed rooms, but you will see that in the final episode once I do a full final tour of the island. Don't worry though, we are still gonna be designing a classroom today. It'll just be outside. I placed some custom codes on the ground and started setting up the outdoor classroom right against the river. I used a whiteboard and this table with some green and yellow school chairs. Since it's an outdoor classroom, I thought that we could make it more lab themed since I feel like outdoor classes are usually more hands-on like that. So I turned the outdoor class into an ant lab of some sort with an ant farm, microscopes, and I even placed an ant on the ground too. This gyroid is also the teacher. I don't know why, but the gyroid just had teacher energy. I feel like he would give me an F on my lab report though. After adding a small cliff behind the schoolhouse to make this area have a little bit more interest and just to make sure that my island isn't completely flat, I decided to work over here in this nook near the entrance. I wanted to make an area for some lockers and maybe parking. I alternated yellow and white lockers on top of this brick, and I made sure to place a cute item on top of every locker. I think my favorite has to be the cute little rain boots. You can't see it very well, but I did customize each of the lockers with a cute sticker design too. Since this was really starting to feel like a drop-off area, or maybe where the students will like get ready to start school and or leave school, I decided to go ahead and make a parking area here. I tried adding a bike and a skateboard, but the bike just did not fit the way I wanted, so I just decided to leave the skateboard. I made sure to decorate the small cliff that I made earlier with flowers, trees, and a ladder to make it accessible, and I finished up the area with some more custom designs on the ground and this cute balloon to make it a little bit more fun. Now it's time to work on my personal favorite part of this entire schoolyard area, the treehouse library. Reading is something I've always loved, but I especially loved books when I was a kid. So I'm basically gonna build an enchanting treehouse where the child me would have loved to go and read. I was really inspired by this Instagram post from Jilly's Crossing. I love how she used the loft bed, so I decided to pretty much replicate this, but in Ladybug style. I made a 6 wide and 7 deep cliff for the treehouse and then went around and added each of the loft beds. I used 4 loft beds total for this, and I made sure to include a ladder so you could actually climb into the treehouse. I didn't realize until later that you can customize the actual blankets on the bed. I don't know if I'll go back and do that. I kind of don't mind the white bedding that they have now, but I'll see what y'all think. I also planted some trees to really bring it together as a treehouse, and don't forget that this is a treehouse library, so I did add 2 wooden bookshelves in the back to really give that library effect. Now the base of the treehouse was pretty much done, and all that was left was to add decorations. I added the cutest custom codes, this blue cat teapot, some book items, and I had to time travel to grow some baby trees, but it was worth the extra time because look at how cute these are. To finish the treehouse and to make it extra cozy, I placed a teddy bear and a cute cushion for any readers to sit on. Next, I'll be adding a small soccer field to the school grounds. I was not the most sporty or athletic kid when I was in school, but I did play soccer for a very short time. I mean, it still counts, okay? So I thought that a soccer field would be perfect to add here, especially since this bridge connects to the small park that we made in episode 1. These builds all just flow perfectly, and I think that they make sense with the school. For the soccer field, I just made a rectangle with the in-game dirt pathway and added soccer goals on either end. I did add some custom designs on top of the dirt to make it cutesy though. Around the soccer field, I made a seating area, fenced off the school grounds, and decorated the walkway that wraps around here to the bridge. And because it felt a little too quiet around here, I added this Wallapoid who actually looks like a soccer goalie now that I think about it. I almost stopped here, but I decided to take things a bit further because I felt like I wasn't hitting the storybook vibes enough. So I'll be adding a storytelling circle over here beside the treehouse. I started with a row of trees to give a forest look and to kind of encase the area and also enhance the circular shape of the build. This area wraps around to my river over here, which will eventually connect to the neighborhood that I'll be building in the next episode, so I went ahead and placed a brick bridge to go over the water. I knew that I wanted a gyroid to be reading a book in the storytelling circle, especially since we have a gyroid teacher back at the outdoor classroom and we have that one gyroid as the soccer goalie. I wanted to keep going with the gyroid theme, okay? I ended up switching this one out for a different gyroid later, but for now I placed this boomoid on top of some pillows, and the story it'll be reading comes from this adorable pop-up book that has these like 3D flowers. I arranged different pillows and cushions in a circular shape around the gyroid to create the storytelling circle. Of course, we needed some listeners to make this area feel more alive, so I added some plushy friends. I made sure to leave some seats open though for any visitors or if any of the Ladybug villagers want to take a seat over here. Since the area between the new storytelling circle and this bridge over here was pretty small, I went ahead and decorated this transition space today as well. Picnic blankets are the perfect thing for a small area like this, especially right next to the river, so I went with this green blanket and decorated it with some cute and cozy items. Okay, Animal Crossers, I am done decorating the school grounds for Ladybug Island, and now it's time for you to see how it's all come together. Let's take a look at the island map first. I'll show you the before, and then I'll show you the after so you can see all the progress. Hopefully the schoolhouse not being centered with the road doesn't bother you too much. And now let's begin the final walkthrough here at these two filler spaces near the plaza. We've got this adorable seating area with the pink benches. I love how this turned out. I think it looks really perfect, and I've already seen some of my villagers watering the flowers and sitting over here. And across this way we have another little filler space. I think my favorite part is the bubbles that are blowing on the fountain here, and we've got another pink bench, a cute little gyroid. It's all so adorable. There's lots of ladybugs around as well. I even placed one on top of the vending machine, which looks so cute. I'm really happy with how these turned out, and I think that they make for a great entrance into these school grounds, which are right here. We've got our school sign, the crosswalk signal, the school building in the background, which I think looks so cute. I really hope that it resembles a school. You'll have to let me know what you think. We've got our outdoor classroom complete with the gyroid teacher, microscopes, ants, and all that good stuff. We are out here studying the bugs, learning about ants and ant colonies apparently. To the left here we have like the drop-off zone with lockers and a little parking spot, a little happy balloon, just a ton of cute stuff. I really like the custom codes here on the ground as well. We can go up on this ladder and see kind of all the surrounding areas from this cliff. I think it adds a nice backdrop to the school as well. And you can see the storytelling circle, which we'll go look at in greater detail here in a moment. But first, let's check out my favorite part of this entire build, the treehouse library. It looks amazing. I love how you can climb up here and actually take a seat. Like, oh my gosh, this is so So cute. Thank you again to Jilly's Crossing on Instagram for inspiring me with this build. The layout that she made with the loft beds was genius, and I'm so happy that I added this to Ladybug. I think it looks amazing. You'll have to let me know if you decide to make one too. Over to the left side, we have our soccer field with the gyroid goalie. This looks super cool too. I like how simple it is, and I love how it wraps around and connects to the park as well. They kind of are like a dual build now, like they feel like they're connected. I don't know, I hope that makes sense. And we can also head over here. I added this dinosaur stand. I thought that it matched the Magic Treehouse cover that I looked at on Google. And then we have our storytelling circle. This is so cute. I don't know, this and the treehouse are definitely my favorite spots from today's episode. This is so like magical. I don't know, this is giving like nostalgic magic girlhood, and I love it so much. The little magic like rock stone pathway that I used here is really cute, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. And of course there is a little transition space over here that we decorated too. I think that this turned out really sweet. I love the sign with the little house, so you know that there's going to be a neighborhood across the bridge, and we've got our little picnic area too. It all just turned out so sweet. If you enjoyed this video and would like to stick around for the next Ladybug episode, be sure to subscribe and consider leaving a like. Let me know if you think I managed to complete today's goal of creating that silly Miss Frizzle energy and the cozy storybook vibes. And if you made it this far, go ahead and add a ladybug emoji to your comment. And thank you all for watching another video. I will see you in the next one. Bye! After 2 long months and many false promises of finishing sooner, I am finally done with this giant neighborhood for all 10 villagers on my island. Yes, this build is huge. It takes up almost half of my island map. It's literally the largest build I've ever done in Animal Crossing, but it is done and I am finally ready to show you. Hey Animal Crossers, and welcome back to Ladybug Island. It's been a while, but I am so happy to be here with episode 3 of this KIDCORE island design series, where we're decorating a nostalgic, bright and colorful island inspired by growing up in the early 2000s. Thank you so much for waiting patiently on this episode. I hope the wait was worth it, and I think it will be because this 10 villager neighborhood turned out amazing. It features full front and backyards for every villager, and I hope that you're ready to see it all come together. If you like Animal Crossing videos, you're in luck because I post daily shorts and weekly-ish videos, so be sure to subscribe and join your fellow Animal Crossers. Now let's dive into Ladybug episode 3. Welcome to the bulletin board, where I give you any fast and quick island updates that are unrelated to today's island designing before we get into it. The first update I have is that we've officially kicked Marshall from Ladybug Island, contrary to many of your opinions. A lot of you thought that he was perfect for this island, but I decided to adopt my cutie pie dreamy Broccolo from a treasure island to replace Marshall. Sorry about that. That marks 9 out of 10 villagers that I want for this island, with Cleo being the last one that we need. And unrelated to my island entirely, I adopted a new kitten. I named him Levi. Yes, after Levi Ackerman, I am projecting my AOT obsession onto this poor kitten, but it's okay. He loves it, and he acts exactly how you would expect a kitten named Levi Ackerman to act. He is wild, and he loves attacking all of my other cats. He's about 3 months old, and I got him at a Taco Bell parking lot from someone that I met on a local Facebook group. Everyone say hi to Levi. Okay, Animal Crossers, I think you're now all caught up on Ladybug news, so let's get into the 10 villager neighborhood. As I mentioned previously, this neighborhood is going to take up a very large chunk of my island, so there was a lot of preparation to do before we could even start figuring out the layout for the road and all of the villager homes. To make it even worse, I wanted to build the neighborhood on the right side of my island, which is where I had placed all of these 6 villager homes, both of my island shops, and the island's campsite. So there were 9 total buildings that I had to move one by one, day by day. So yeah, this build was already off to a wonderfully slow and painful start. It took me quite a while, but I got everything moved to the other side of my island, a problem for future Tiger, and this is what the map looked like at this point. I wanted this neighborhood to be tiered with some homes on the ground level and then some homes on a second level, so I didn't need to remove any of the cliffs in the back, and we were ready to start with the neighborhood layout. I started laying out the dirt path foundation for the road over at this bridge that connects to the plaza area that we decorated in the first 2 episodes. I just took the road all the way from that bridge to the beach on the other side of this part of my island. This is going to be the first street of our neighborhood, which is going to have 3 villager houses. To make sure that the houses are in the correct positions and to make placing them easier, I used a custom code to map out where they're gonna go. I made 4x4 squares to mark the area for the house, and I used this leaf design code to map out their backyards. I made sure to space out the houses with enough room for a vertical road going back towards the cliffs, where we're gonna add a staircase to ascend into the next tier of the neighborhood. If you can't visualize it, don't worry, you will see soon. I have aphantasia, so I can't visualize like mental images. I don't know if I'm alone in that, but yeah, anyways. And right before you get to the cliffs, I decided to lay out another street to give access to the 3 backyards that are back here. And that's all the pathing for the first level. So I cleaned up this cliff, I just made it larger and more symmetrical, and I also made a space for the future staircase. And after that, I added the road border to all of the dirt pathing. I'll put the design code for this border up on the screen just in case you want to download it. And I have a Pinterest board linked down below with all of the custom designs that I'm using on this island. And here's what the neighborhood was looking like on the map so far now that we had the first level of road done. For the second tier of the neighborhood, I got started by placing the brick staircase and clearing out any trees and flowers that were left up here on the cliffs. I started to lay out the road, but I realized that this was gonna be way larger than I expected. And I needed to destroy the entire 3rd level cliff that was back here to make room for the other 7 villager homes. Originally, I wanted the neighborhood to have 3 tiers, so I thought that I wasn't gonna have to do this, but with the yard and street layouts that I ended up going with, it just wasn't gonna be possible. But it's okay, a 2-level neighborhood will work just fine. Once I destroyed that 3rd level cliff, I finished laying out the neighborhood streets and marked the location for the rest of the homes. There wasn't room for these last 2 houses to have the exact same layout with a full front and backyard, so I decided to do something a little bit different for them. They're right back here, like literally at the very back of the island, so I'm just gonna have them share a front yard, and then they're gonna have their own side yards instead of like traditional backyards. You'll see how it turns out later. I think it turned out really cute actually. So here is how the final neighborhood layout looks. It has 5 horizontal streets with 1 big vertical street going through the entire thing. All 10 villager houses on my island will fit here, and they're each going to have their own dedicated yards. It looks amazing on the island's map. Honestly, I love how the streets are not like perfectly symmetrical or the same. I think that the slight variety makes it feel a little bit more playful and more true to a neighborhood in real life. Quick interruption, I just wanted to let you know that I have a community Discord server that I always forget to tell you about. You should totally join, the link is down below. Now that the layout is done, it's time to start placing all of the villager homes into their designated spots. I started with the first street, and from left to right, the 3 villagers that are going to live on this street are Puddles, Annabelle, and Norma. On the second level, the first street up here has 2 house plots, which are going to be for Broccolo and Biscuit, and on the next street over, we have another 3 homes for Tangy, Chow, and Iggly. Then for the back 2 houses that have the unique side yards, we're going to have Pashmina on the left and Bunny on the right. I kind of am thinking that maybe they're a cute little couple. I don't know. Let me know what you think. It took a while to move each villager home into the neighborhood, but once it was done, I felt so accomplished and so excited. It made the neighborhood instantly come to life, and I could really start to see my vision coming together. We're almost ready to start decorating the neighborhood with cute furniture and stuff, but there is one more thing that we have to do, which is kick out Chow and replace him with our last dreamy Cleo. Because I don't want to decorate the yard for Chow, like I want the instant gratification. I need Cleo here now. You may have seen the TikTok about this that I made a couple of weeks ago. It took literally so long to kick out Chow. It was not even funny. I was losing my mind during the process. I thought I was never going to get this bear off of my island. It took 37 days total, but he finally got a thought bubble and left the island, and I was able to adopt Cleo from a treasure island, finished up the road pathway, planted a couple trees, and now we are ready to start decorating. Every villager in this neighborhood is going to have both a full front and full backyard. I already mapped out the backyards with this leaf design code, but I actually decided to change the layout and size of the yards. When I tried to place fencing along the first layout, it just did not look good. Initially, I was only going to have fencing in the backyards and have the front yards be more open concept, but it was not giving that classic neighborhood vibe, so I decided to take the fencing around each house entirely. So it wraps around the sides into the front and into the back with some shrubs in the corners to break up the fencing and make it feel a little bit less stiff. I also wanted the neighborhood to feel really organic and lush, so I made sure to keep leaf design codes under all the fencing, and I picked a different fence color and type for each villager to match their house exteriors. I was gonna try to do a more uniform look and give them all the same fencing, but I realized very quickly that it would be so much cuter if they each had their own individual theme and decor. Also, I won't be customizing the house exteriors for this island. I think that the houses look great as is, and I kind of don't feel like playing through Happy Home Paradise to unlock the feature. Anyways, this is the final layout that I landed on for the fencing and the yards. I repeated this layout for every house, making slight alterations as needed. For example, Igly's house is right against this cliff, so he didn't need fencing on the right side of his home. Before I start decorating each yard with furniture and themed items, I did some general landscaping around the neighborhood. I planted flowers, shrubs, trees, and right at the entrance to the second level of the neighborhood where we have the brick staircase, I made these little symmetrical landscaped areas full of flowers and shrubs and a few bug models. And on this left side over here near Broccolo's house, there's another brick stairwell that goes down to this brick bridge that leads across to the storytelling circle and the schoolyard on my island. I went ahead and decorated this small transition space here with some custom designs and some furniture like a trash can. There was also another kind of awkward space here, and I decided to transform that into a private picnic area with this cute bread loaf design. I also took this time to give every villager a welcome mat in front of their doors, and I sprinkled some random cute design codes all around the road just to make it have like more personality and add some fun colors to break up the brown dirt pathway. I especially love the hopscotch design. It is just so cute. And to top it all off, I added some neighborhood decor like street lamps, a party lights archway, these cosmos showers, and some bubbloids to welcome you to the second level of the neighborhood, and a pink gazebo at the top of the brick staircase too. I really love how this view looks with all the trees and the houses and the landscaping. It looks exactly like the perfect neighborhood that I was envisioning. The only thing left to do now is to decorate all of the villager yards. Like I said earlier, I want each villager house to have their own individual theme, but I also want them to fit together. I decided to focus on theming them around different colors, but I made sure to still make every yard KIDCORE themed, so I used items that felt fun, silly, nostalgic, playful, you get the gist. So let's go one by one and I will show you how I decided to decorate for each villager. Also, you should totally leave a comment down below and let me know which villagers live on your island and if you have them in a neighborhood like this, or are their homes just like scattered across your island. Starting with our cutie queen Puddles, she is literally a pink frog who lives in a pink house with a pink welcome mat and pink fencing, so I decided to just go ahead and do an entirely pink theme for her. In her front yard, I gave her a My Melody rocking chair and a cute music player, and for the backyard, I went for a relaxing spa theme with a pink bathtub, a flamingo, and some crepes. Puddles has a unique home in the neighborhood because she has this space between her home and the river. I decided to go ahead and continue decorating this in her pink theme. I added a hammock, a shelf fountain, planted a ton of flowers, and even included this little flower bed item. I don't know, maybe Puddles likes to garden and her backyard is too small, so she just does it out here too. Annabelle is an orange anteater who lives in an orange house with orange fencing and, you guessed it, an orange welcome mat, so I decided to give her an orange themed yard situation with a little bit of yellow mixed in as well. In her front yard, I designed a basic seating area with a lily pad table, and in the backyard, I kind of went for a more tropical theme since I was getting that vibe from her home exterior. I decided to use this orange hammock and a matching orange Moroccan couch. This house really came together with the colors, and I feel like this one would be voted like best on theme if there was a competition for all of the homes in the neighborhood. Norma got a soft pastel theme. I just gave her like a lot of soft toys like a dollhouse, this rocking horse, and some plushies. She is just so sweet and so gentle. I thought a theme like this would be perfect for her. Similarly to Puddles, Norma had a space where the road meets the beach, like right in front of her backyard's entrance. So I thought it would be fun to spice up this area with a birthday party. I used a giant teddy bear in some of the birthday furniture items, and I think it turned out so cute. Birthday parties are such a core memory from childhood, and honestly, I wish that we would bring back like the ultra themed birthday parties from the early 2000s. Birthday parties back then were just so good. I remember having a SpongeBob themed party. I think I did a Hannah Montana theme one year too. Let me know if you had any fun birthday party themes growing up. I know some people had very niche ones. Maybe people still do this, I don't know, but maybe I should have an Animal Crossing themed birthday party this year. That would be super cute. Broccolo's yard, I didn't really know what to do for him. I just knew that I wanted to use this inflatable pool item, which is green, and Broccolo's house is blue, so I ended up just placing random green and blue stuff that I thought looked good together. I placed this lava lamp, an inflatable bean bag thing, and of course he's got the cute private picnic that I designed earlier next to his house too. I feel like Biscuit is the type of villager to have a ton of collections for some reason, so I made a giant pile of random items in front of his house, literally in the middle of the road. And in the front and backyards, I did the same kind of vibe, just trying to choose items that were silly, and I gave him that like cluttered maximalist vibe. I don't know if that's really the best way to describe the theme of Biscuit's yards, but I hope you get the vision. This house actually ended up being one of my unexpected favorites. I think the colors are so cute and the items are just really fun. You won't be surprised to hear that Tangy got an orange themed house. I did incorporate green since her roof is green. The fencing had a green and orange combo too. It just seems like everything here was made for Tangy. In her backyard, I just threw a bunch of random orange and green stuff down and rearranged it until I thought it looked good. And to the entrance of her backyard, I placed this wedding archway. I feel like it helped her house have like a nice unique touch. Next up is Cleo's home. I am so glad that she finally lives on the island. She is so underrated. Her yard is another one of my top favorites from the neighborhood too. The Zen fencing matches her house perfectly. I just love the purple. In the front yard, I kept things simple with only a hammock, and in the backyard, I decided to have a little bit more fun and I went with a full-on mermaid theme. I remember playing mermaids when I was growing up at the pool with my friends. I thought that this was perfect for the early 2000s nostalgia. The mermaid furniture set is also just so underrated, just like Cleo, and I'm really glad that I used it here. Igly's house is completely blue, so I went with a blue theme for his yards. He's just a silly guy, so I used silly items like another lava lamp, but I left a puddle of water next to it to make it look like it spilled out. In front of his house, I also made a funky seating area with some patchwork chairs, a bunny day table, and some green spaghetti noodles. In Igly's backyard, I went for a cluttered look and also included a DIY station with some crafting supply design codes on the ground to bring it all together. Now for Bunny's house, she lives in one of the back two houses that have the unique side yards. For Bunny's backyard, I used some of the cute furniture set, including the sofa and the lamp, and put down a big table covered with a lot of items that I thought Bunny would like. And to make everything look more connected and to make this feel more like a backyard, I created a sidewalk using this green brick pattern going from her front door to the entrance of the yard. For her front yard, she is going to share that with Pashmina. There wasn't much room here, so I went with a pretty simple design, 2 lawn chairs side by side underneath this shared tree. Bunny got a pink chair to match her yard, and Pashmina got a blue one to match hers. So yes, Pashmina's yard has a blue theme with a little bit of purple. To keep things satisfying, I tried to duplicate Bunny's exact yard layout for Pashmina. I thought it would be really nice if the two were kind of mirrored or symmetrical, especially since they already had that vibe going with the 2 lawn chairs in their front yard. So I used the same cute sofa and put it in the exact same spot, but I just customized it to be blue. And I used another table in the same spot that was the same size to make it feel similar but still different from Bunny's. And this time I covered the table with items that I thought Pashmina would enjoy. I finished up her yard with an assortment of blue and purple items, and that was the last villager house that I had to decorate. Okay, Animal Crossers, we are officially done with designing Ladybug's 10 villager neighborhood, complete with full front and backyards for each and every one of my villagers. It is time for you to get a final tour of everything so you can see how it all came together. Let's take a look at the island map first. I'll show you the before and after so you can see how huge and just how much this build changed my island. I really love how it looks on the map, and I'm excited to keep working on the entire island. I think this map is gonna look so good in the end with all the different streets. Anyway, now for the fun part, let's take a final walk through the neighborhood. First up, we have Puddles. She is so cute. I love this little road. I think that these houses are decorated so nicely. Puddles and Annabelle like being right next to each other I think was a great choice since their houses are similar and the colors are just so cute. Like the pink and orange is perfect for early 2000s nostalgia. So yeah, I just love this vibe. Annabelle's house is really cute too. The front yard looks nice. I love the banana peel. And if we keep walking over here, we have Norma's house. How adorable. She's got that soft pastel look. I don't know. I think it's perfect for her. Now the space in front of the street is empty and it leads to my beach. I don't really know what I'm gonna do here. The island pier is down that way, so maybe I could make like a boardwalk with like, I don't know, maybe a carnival or something. Let me know what you think. Anyways, we're gonna keep heading up the road this way. Again, I love the view here, like the symmetry with the trees and the street lamps and just like the tiered aspect of the neighborhood looks amazing right here. The gazebo in the distance is beautiful. It's gorgeous. I love this view. If we head to the left, we have Annabelle's backyard, amazing, and we also have Puddles' backyard and the extra space that Puddles has over here like against the river. It's so relaxing right here. Honestly, laying down on this hammock is so cute. And if we go to the other side of the road, we can see Norma's backyard and the birthday party that's set up. This is so cute. I'm so glad that I decided to do the birthday party. Now let's head up into the second tier of the neighborhood. We're gonna go to the right side first and see Biscuit's house. He has the maximalist log cabin with all the fun different items. This is so cute. I love how it overlooks the beach, and I think that once we have that decorated, this is just gonna be like elevated so much and look even better. And over here to the left, Biscuit's neighbor is Broccolo. He's got such a cute house. There's a little bike out front. I love the little picnic spot here next to the waterfall and just like this whole transition space down this way that goes over to the island schoolyard. This is just such a pretty view and I just love this island so much. Like the color scheme is so cheerful and just makes me smile. Let's keep going this way. We'll take a look at Biscuit's backyard here. This looks amazing. And then also this is Iggly's front yard. Love the blue theme here. This one isn't my favorite house of the neighborhood, but it's still cute. And let's head over to the left and see Broccolo's backyard. I love the tricycle out in the road. I think it looks so cute. He's got so many cute design codes in his yard as well. And then we have Cleo's front yard directly across from that. Very simple, but also very elegant. Love this so much. And then next to her house is Tangy's front yard, which looks great. And I also decided to make this small little like filler area off camera. There was just like this little space, so I made a seating area with some of this like plastic furniture. I don't know, I think it looks cute. Maybe the villagers will hang out here. Now let's go up this way. We're gonna take a look at Iggly's backyard first. Honestly, I had so much fun with these yards because I got to use furniture items that I never really use, like the diner chairs and all these dishes back here. I think this is so adorable. Then we've got Bunny and Pashmina's two houses at the back here. I am actually obsessed with how these look. The green sidewalks going from the yards to the house is chef's kiss. I don't know, I'm really happy with how these came together. I had to improvise with the layout, but I think that it gives the neighborhood a little bit more charm and uniqueness and personality. So yeah, of course we've got Pashmina's yard over here as well, and then we have Cleo's mermaid backyard. So cute. This is probably my favorite backyard. I don't know, it's so hard to choose. I also love Biscuit and Annabelle's houses. And for the last part of the tour, we have Tangy's citrus themed backyard with all of the greens and oranges. I just love the backyards. I think that they really match like what I would think of when I think of like a traditional, just classic neighborhood. I especially love that when you're standing in the backyards, you can see like the actual villager house. I feel like it gives like a unique perspective. I don't know what I'm gonna build off in this direction. My secret beach is down here, so maybe I can like incorporate that into the neighborhood somehow in the next episode. Thank you again for your patience as I worked on this Ladybug episode, and thank you all for watching another video. I will see you in the next one. Bye! Chances are you or someone you know has neglected their New Horizons beaches, including me. I usually despise beach builds, and in the past I had a history of just leaving them blank. Usually I left them as the very last thing to do on my island, and then once I got there, I'm like, oh, it's fine, I can just leave those as is and no one will notice. But I am not letting myself get to that point this time. Instead of procrastinating, we are going to get straight to work, and I am planning to decorate half of my island's beaches just in today's episode. If you like Animal Crossing videos, you're in luck because I post daily shorts and weekly videos, so be sure to subscribe and join your fellow Animal Crossers. Now get cozy and ready for Ladybug episode 4. Welcome to the bulletin board, where I give you any fast and quick island updates that are unrelated to today's island designing before we get into it. And there are literally no updates today, so I'll just remind you to join our community Discord server instead. Meet other Animal Crossing fans, visit islands, share ideas, and more. The join link is down below. In the last episode, I worked on this massive neighborhood for all 10 of my villagers over on the right side of my island. The neighborhood takes up pretty much that entire space from top to bottom, so all this beach, literally half of the beach space on my island, is all surrounded by the neighborhood, and you can really only access it from this point, which is also the only empty space left in this whole area. So I'm gonna start here with a transitional entryway that's gonna take us from the neighborhood to the beach area. I thought about making a carnival or like a boardwalk here that leaks into the beach. I don't know why I used the word leaks. Anyways, but this is a KIDCORE early 2000s nostalgic island, and I'm trying to think creatively and outside of the box on ways to express the energy from that time. For me, I loved the hyper colorful aesthetic with glitter and rainbows from the early 2000s. I collected a lot of My Little Ponies, Littlest Pet Shop, and I loved things like Lisa Frank and Hannah Montana. The whimsy and maximalism of it all just made for such a magical time. I really wanted to capture all those things in this island, so I thought for sure that these beaches needed to also match that vibe, and I could not just put minimum effort into them as per usual. Especially because I feel like going to the beach and summer in general were such an exciting and happy part of childhood. To really honor the hyper colorful early 2000s, I decided to split the beach into 3 sections that will each be themed around a color. First, we're gonna do a pink beach, then an orange beach, and then finally a blue beach. Each one is gonna have its own unique builds, and honestly, I think that the pink and blue ones turned out the best, but you'll have to let me know what you think. Once I got this pink entryway area done, it was time to start designing the actual beach space below. And if you can't tell already, we're starting with the pink themed beach. I knew I wanted to have a mermaid themed build here, but not your traditional mermaid furniture set just thrown down on the beach. I wanted to do something cool and creative, so I thought, why not a mermaid bakery with its very own faux building? I'm not gonna lie, I usually just follow tutorials or heavily reference photos online when I make fake buildings in New Horizons. I've never really freehanded one before or like made up my own, but I decided to give it a try for the mermaid bakery since I couldn't really find any references online for the idea that I had in mind. I had to restart a few times, but I eventually made something that I liked. I'm gonna try to be as specific as possible when explaining the construction of this building, just in case you want to recreate it. So I started with the base cliff for the building, which is only 4 blocks across and 3 blocks deep. I did make an extra bit of cliff that we'll cut off later. The extra piece just made it possible to climb up and place items up there. I layered 3 different items up here to create a fake building effect. I went with the wooden partition, the shell partition, and the medieval castle wall items. I placed them back to back and as close as they would go to each other and to the front of this cliff. I removed the extra bit of cliff when I was done, and then we were ready to design the bottom half of the building. I have the building right against the beach because my idea is that the customers will wait in the sand and place orders down there, but the building itself is up here on the grass, so I guess this part is kind of like a half beach build. Anyway, for the bottom half of the building, I started by placing these curtain partition items that I had customized with a pink and orange pattern. I wasn't going to use these originally, but I realized that I needed to cover up the cliff completely because it was ruining the building illusion, so these were a great solution. And then to cover the sides of the cliff, I used these covered counters in a pink color. I love these and I think they worked so well here. here. In the very front of the building, we needed a place for people to be able to order baked goods since this is a bakery. So I just laid out a brick pathway and placed 2 of these dessert cases on top. And of course, the covered counters have spots for 2 items on each, so I filled those up with yummy cakes and desserts. And to finish off our faux bakery building, I placed these big decorative pillars and I put pink shell lamps on top. I thought that this really added to the mermaid aesthetic and brought the whole building together. So after that, I just landscaped the entire area, covering it with flowers and trees. The footage got corrupted because of a big storm and a power outage, but it's fine. It was just me planting a bunch of stuff. One thing to note, I did move these pillars by 1 space over because you couldn't really see the desserts on the covered counters back there, and I wanted those to be visible. So just in case you're trying to replicate the building, you should probably know that. I did put out this cute welcome sign too, and now we were ready to decorate the actual beach space. Just like any other build on my island, I started with a pathway. I never really considered using the stone on the sand, but I was pleasantly surprised with how cute it looked. It's like a magical stone pathway, so it has sparkles and swirls, and I thought honestly it worked great for the mermaid theme. I led this path from the entryway all the way to the bakery building, and I split it up into different pieces and sprinkled these other stone designs in between. After that, I started placing furniture, and I used a lot of the shell items in the pink variation because don't forget that we're doing kind of a rainbow beach situation, and this is the pink side of things. I made a seating area for the bakery with these big shell tables, and I covered them with more desserts. Then I placed a bunch of pink tropical items along the pathway, like these shell speakers, shell partitions, and the palm tree lamp. I made sure to use some bakery-esque items like these jam jars and a dessert carrier too. And I think this mermaid bakery turned out amazing. Let me know what your thoughts are. The only thing that I can think of maybe changing is adding some mermaid furniture items because we didn't use like any of the mermaid set. But I don't know, I kind of like the vibe of the shell furniture. For the rest of our pink beach area, I treated it like a regular public beach to complement the pier since I assumed that that would be a public space, especially since Cap'n offers boat tours there and stuff. I don't know, it just made sense to me, okay? I didn't have a very clear plan like I did with the mermaid bakery in this area. I just kind of messed around with different items until I got something that I liked. I ended up centering everything around this pink beach chair and created a nice lounge space with a bunch of really fun and silly items and a picnic blanket, and I thought it turned out cute. Once I was done with that area, I moved closer to the pier. I laid down more of this magical stone pathway to continue the walking path, and this is when Norma showed up to check things out. She is so cute. I wanted to make another building type of thing using these medieval castle walls. I just love these items, and I thought it would look unique to have them right up against the dock. I placed 2 of them parallel to each other with a little bit of space in between for a walkway, and to frame the walkway and make that space look less rigid and kind of awkward, I used a shell archway in the front and a pink gazebo item in the back. On the dock itself, I just made a mermaid themed seating area. I paired the cinema roll tables with mermaid chairs, and I used these lilies as centerpieces. And to spice up this area a little bit more, I added a cotton candy stall, a popcorn machine, and of course a bubble blowing gyroid. This is when I realized that I had no coconut trees and I was desperately needing some, so I ran to a treasure island real quick to get some and added them to the lounge area, and also some directly behind the castle wall items. I used some of the orange brick fencing to mark the start of the orange beach area that we'll be working on next. That way I knew exactly how much room I had left for the pink side. This was a pretty small space, so I didn't really go for a themed area. I just kept the same public beach vibes. I used the pink fence item, shell items, and I even placed some cotton candy with a gyroid to match the cotton candy machine that we added before. And I finished up the pink area with some custom designs, a gumball machine for any beach goers, and of course a pink cute chair. Okay, Animal Crossers, we've made it through the very long pink section of the video, and now I'll be working on the orange part of our beach, which is a lot smaller and more simple. I started by planting 2 coconut trees and laying out a pathway using these green brick squares, leaving 1 space in between each. I thought it would be cool to switch up the path design here, and I love how unique this looks. In between these 2 trees, I placed these beach chairs, and I also placed an orange crumploid who I thought looked so cute. To finish this little area, I placed some string lights, orange shell speakers, and an orange life ring too. Now I'll be decorating this small rock here. I wanted to focus on the fortune cookie cart for this area since the colors matched perfectly. I placed that item down first along with this bendoid. Maybe he's the bender, okay, he's so cute. And on the rest of the rock, honestly, I just placed the most random assortment of orange items. Don't ask me why I chose these, I just did, and I love them. In this tiny little space of sand here, I made a simple seating spot with some orange and yellow items, and then we were ready to move on to the last and my favorite part of the orange beach. Over here in this area, I wanted to have an ice cream truck, and I was able to find this amazing custom design on Pinterest, and I deleted one of my custom designs for it because I needed it that bad. This area was really small, so I ended up only having space for the truck, an ice cream cone lamp, and this festival parasol. And I wanted to think about when you would come to visit the island later when it's finished, and I posted it to the dream address. I wanted to make the island a very fun and interactive place to visit, so I left some ice creams around that you can actually pick up and eat when you visit the dream address. I thought about doing a green theme for the final section of this beach build since I thought it would match my island's existing overall color scheme, but I ended up deciding to go with blue instead. There's actually a lot of random reasons why I went with blue. Firstly, I thought it would look good next to the orange beach because blue and orange are complementary colors, and it would work well to make our 3-color rainbow for this beach. Like pink, orange, and blue are a good balance of the rainbow, I think. Not to mention that Igly's house is right up there against the cliff's edge overlooking the beach, and his entire house and yard is a blue theme. So I'm thinking that this will look super satisfying from up there at his house if it was also blue and matched everything. Igly is a penguin villager, and this is also a beach, don't forget, so I thought that a fish market would be the absolute perfect build for the blue section. I knew for certain that I wanted to use this blue and white lighthouse item as well, so I went ahead and placed that at the back of this beach over on the rocks, and while I was over there, I just decided to go ahead and get the entire rock decorated to kick off the blue section. I included an anchor and a tourist telescope, a seating area with rattan furniture, and also a section for some public restrooms that included a parked bicycle. There was a tiny little beach space in front of the rocks that I decided to decorate separately from the fish market, which we'll get to in a minute. I did another casual lounge space with a blue beach chair this time, and I included some fun blue items all around. At one point, I placed my storage shed against the cliffs to get some furniture out, and I realized that it was blue and it kind of looked cool there, so I decided to leave it there and decorate around it to make a little workspace for the fish market. I used a tool shelf and I covered the top of the shelf and the storage shed with some beachy items. Right in this area, you can really see Igly's house and his backyard, and all this stuff just matches so well. I decided to go ahead and connect the two areas with a blue ladder right here against the cliff. I wish that the villagers could use the ladder so badly, but I mean, at least we can. I finished up this little area with a wash station and an ATM for anyone who is going to shop at Igly's fish market. And now for the main attraction, the actual fish market. I started by framing an entryway into the market. I wanted this to be on theme and unique, so I used the 2 different shades of this like blue fish container, and I placed the items in this way that kind of forms a walkway in the center. I included this vertical banner too in the sushi variation since I thought it helped make it clear that this was a fish market entrance. And to frame this little entryway even more, I included a party lights archway, and then I got started on adding stalls for the market. I didn't have room to download a blue design to customize regular stalls with, but luckily the festival stalls come in a blue color that matched perfectly. I placed 3 of these with the one in the center being slightly off-centered to make the foundation for our fish market. And as I placed each stall, I covered them with different fishy items, and at the end I closed off the market area with this giant like kitchen island item. It also kind of looked like a counter that people could order from, so I placed some prepared fish meals on the other side of the counter to look like customer orders. And of course on this side we needed someone to be working the counter, so I hired this gyroid. I finished up the fish market with this blue fence. I replaced the cooler here with a fish drying rack, and I made a few adjustments to the entrance. I'm really happy with how Igly's fish market turned out, and just as I imagined, it looks amazing from above at his house. And I didn't even realize it until after, but I had already used diner chairs and dishes in Igly's backyard, which was even more perfect. Okay, Animal Crossers, we've officially accomplished the goal of decorating half of my island's beach space today, and I am so excited to give you a final tour of the entire area, starting here at the entrance. I love how symmetrical and pink this little entryway is, and it leads down into, of course, the pink section of our beach builds. We've got our mermaid bakery, which turned out so awesome. I am so proud of this faux building design. I was nervous that it wouldn't turn out very good, but I think it looks amazing, and I feel like it has mermaid energy. All the little pastries look so cute around here too. I love the food items in this game. And if we follow the pathway down this way, we end up at the lounge area with this pink beach chair, a little picnic spot, and a ton of cute items. And I'm just gonna keep on going this way towards our pier where we have this like building structure thing. I honestly don't know how to describe this, but it looks really cool. And Captain's Dock is decorated with some mermaid seating areas, which I think is so cute. And on the other side of this little building structure is the last space for the pink area. This is a really simple spot. There's not much going on here, but I love how it made Norma's house look a lot more finished. And now we're in the orange section of our beach build. This is the smallest area and the area that has like the least amount of direction, if that makes sense. I feel like this is just a bunch of random items, but I think it turned out really cute. I love the ice cream truck especially. I think it's adorable. And back here, I hope that you can like find this easily. I feel like this is a little bit hidden back here, but this is Igly's fish market and also the blue section of our beaches. I am so proud of how this turned out. I think that the entryway with these blue fish containers just looks really unique and awesome. Of course, we've got a classic fish market going on with a bunch of fishy items, and we have the rock area back here with another like just general like public beach space vibe, and it has a lighthouse with a little painting spot, which I think turned out so cute. And I did replace the little teacup that was here. I don't know if you noticed that before. I replaced it with the fish and chips because I thought it made more sense with the fish market. Thank you for tuning in to another Ladybug episode. I hope that this one inspired you to get to work on your island and to stop procrastinating on those areas that you haven't decorated yet. If you made it this far, leave a flamingo emoji in the comment section. Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time. Bye! Hey Animal Crossers, and welcome back to Ladybug Island. It's been a while and I hope you're ready for finally some more KIDCORE island design. On the to-do list today are the island shops. Y'all know how much I love to combine the Nooks Cranny and the Able Sisters into one big build. I like to have a designated shopping area on my islands. It just makes sense and it's satisfying to have the buildings next to each other. Ladybug is a KIDCORE island inspired by the early 2000s, so of course we'll be honoring those themes in today's build. My goal is to create a stacked shopping center with some nostalgic decorations and a build your own plushie factory. I'm not gonna say it's exactly a shopping mall, but it is heavily inspired by malls, especially back then when they were in their prime and full of whimsy and fun. If you like Animal Crossing videos, you're in luck because I post daily shorts and weekly-ish videos, so be sure to subscribe and join your fellow Animal Crossers. Now get cozy and ready for Ladybug episode 5. Welcome to the bulletin board where I give you any fast and quick island updates that are unrelated to today's island designing before we get into it. Not much has happened here on the island since you've last seen it, so I'll just remind you to join the Tigers Hub community Discord server instead. Connect with other Animal Crossers, share ideas and islands, and just have fun. The link to join is below. I've been working on the right side of the island for some time now, and at the very back of the neighborhood, our road leads into this cliff area that overlooks my island's secret beach. This is the area that I want to turn into a whimsical shopping center. The secret beach does need to be accessible, so I did decide to get rid of this cliff and have the road from our neighborhood descend into this area with a staircase. All of this construction left me with a pretty big space to work with down here, but I will admit that it was a lot smaller than I initially planned for. I wanted the shops to have a stacked look anyway, so I thought that we could still make this area work since the shops won't take up as much space if they are stacked. Down this way you can see a little into the reading circle that I built to go with my island schoolyard, which has these nice symmetrical trees. They look so cute right here, and I thought that we could center the cliff for the stacked shops with these trees and use them to kind of frame the entire shopping area. So the cliff that we needed did not have to be very huge, but it did need to have enough space to fit the clothing shop, and then there also needed to be room for the Nooks Cranny down below. Once I had a rough draft of the cliff shape, shape, I started to add in my road pathway because I didn't want to get too far into this and then have the road not fit. I took it from the staircase over to this area where it will go along in front of the Nook's Cranny. This is when I had the bright idea of adding in a big water feature. I know there's not a lot of space already, so it was kind of risky. I've destroyed a lot of the river on this island to make room for various builds, and now I feel like my map is lacking water. I also love it when I go shopping in real life and the shopping center has like a pond with a little fountain feature in the middle. They're so cute and fun. It would be amazing if I could actually add a fountain in the water, but I thought a big pond would be good enough on its own. So I made one right here in front of where the Nook's Cranny will go, and I kept the pond symmetrical with the tree line down below as well, and I just made it as big as it could be, leaving enough room for other decorations and stuff to go around the area. I also made sure to leave room down here so you could walk around the pond fully, and just look at how cute this little view from down here looks. I feel like this pond definitely made my map look better, and I'm really glad that I ended up doing this. I decided I wanted the road to wrap around a little bit more, so I shaved off more of this cliff on the left side and expanded the street through here. It was time to bring in the shops now, so I started with the Nook's Cranny. I did not measure this or make sure it was gonna fit beforehand, but I got really lucky because this space ended up being the perfect size. Obviously, we needed a way to get up to the second level of our shops up here on this cliff where the clothing store will go, so I terraformed a little spot for an incline to fit against the cliff, and I used a brick staircase again to match the rest of my island. Of course, we needed to bring in the clothing store, so I went and got the kit and I placed it right at the back of the cliff to give us as much room as possible for decorations and other stuff up here. I left one block on the right side of the store because I thought that it would look better than having the store right against the cliff's edge, but I came to regret that decision. Once the shop was here, I noticed from the views down below that you couldn't really see the Able store very well, so even though I didn't want to, I took the time to move the clothing store back off the cliff, and then I put it back where it was, one block over, right against the cliff's edge. Once I came back the next day, I checked out the view from a few different angles, and it looks so much better. You can actually see the full clothing store sign and the front door of the shop, and I'm really glad that I took the time to fix this small detail. The next step was to shape up and finalize the layout of the left side area. There are these cliffs over here and some river. I'm planning on having this connect to my island's museum, which we'll build in the next episode. I went ahead and terraformed the cliffs a little bit and placed one bridge on each cliff level to make this really cool tiered look. On the back side of these cliffs, I added another incline so that you could walk up here and access the bridge that's on the second level. After finalizing the shopping center's layout, it was time to add design codes and landscaping. I started by using my magical stone pathway to make little circles leading in between all of the staircases and roads. I thought that this looked super whimsical, and it was nice to switch it up and have some pathing that was different from the road. Up here where the clothing store is, I continued the stone circle design and used some green bricks as well. And don't forget about the secret beach down here. I'm planning to do a craft supply theme for this area, so I laid out some crafty design codes on the beach. I love the way they ended up looking on the sand, especially the paper, and on the grassy section, and kind of just like this entire right side of the shopping center. Instead of using stones to make the circle designs, I used the green grass pathway. I love how these look, and I'm just so happy with how all the designs go together on this island. If you want to download any of the codes I use, you can find them on my Pinterest board, which is linked below. And if you have trouble finding any, just drop a comment and I should be able to get it for you. Now for the landscaping, I went around and planted a ton of shrubs and flowers, and then I took several days to plant trees, stunting their growth at various heights so that we could have different tree sizes throughout the area. I tried not to overcrowd the space with too much nature stuff since I wanted plenty of room for fun furniture and decor. It's finally time to transform these empty stacked shops into a bustling shopping center full of cute decor and whimsical items. Adding furniture is my favorite part of every build. It's where things really start to come together. I began with a clothing shop up here on the cliff. It's not the biggest space to work with, but there was just enough room for a cozy seating spot, and I spruced it up with party lights and some boba tea. Against the front of the cliff, I displayed 4 different dresses, including the custom Ladybug dress that I made for this island. I framed the cliff with some blue fencing as well, and that's pretty much all I put up here. I think it's super cutesy though, and the colors remind me of Justice, which was a staple store for me back in 2010, especially since they sold Webkins. I also remember these big soft furry journals that were monogrammed with a letter patch being at Justice. I wanted one so bad, but they were always sold out of the T initial. I remember looking for it every time. Now for the lower half of our stacked shops, let's get to decorating around the nook's cranny. I wanted this area to feel really lively and nostalgic, so I chose to focus on a lot of interactable items. I placed a gacha and a gumball machine, shopping carts, claw machines with plushies inside, and I got to work on the secret beach area since it was nearby too. Like I mentioned before, I wanted the secret beach to follow a crafty theme, so I stuck with items that I thought fit into that. For some reason, I also incorporated some of the bunny day items. I don't know why, I just thought it would be fun since I never do that. And the whole theme of this island is just cute color overload and nostalgia, so I thought it worked well. I even included the bunny day archway to mark the entrance to the secret beach area, but I can't decide if I love it or hate it, so let me know what you think down below. To really bring the shops to life, I decided to stage the area with a ton of gyroids. I strategically placed them around to make it look like they were shopping and using all of the machines and items around. I feel like the gyroids really bring the area together and make it look so good. At this point, I realized I needed more flowers, like a lot more flowers, so I spent a lot of time taking care of that. Cue the montage. After all those flowers, I did make a few other small changes and additions to the area, and now we were left with only one more spot to decorate, this little space tucked back here where I have these tiny trees planted. I've said it 1,000 times, but this island is heavily inspired by my childhood in the early 2000s and 2010s. One of my all-time favorite childhood shopping memories were the legendary times that my parents took me into the Build-A-Bear and let me experience the magic of customizing and stuffing my own plushie. I wanted to build my own plushie factory here at the shopping center, so I got started by adding these dreamy shelves against the cliff in the staircase. I thought that these were perfect since they not only have plushies, but they come in multiple colors, so I was able to alternate them for a fun design. I feel like they made the plush factory seem more like a building as well, and I really liked that look. I placed some fun items on top of the shelves, and then I used this brick design to add a floor to the factory. This Kiki and Lala Cloud Maker item is perfect since it kind of looks like a whimsical plushie stuffing machine, so I went ahead and placed that down and included a matching rainbow table with some crafty items laid on top of it, and I made sure to place plenty of plushies around the entire factory. I love how this little space turned out. It feels really nostalgic for me, and I'm excited about all the items that I got to use here. To really bring the Build-A-Plush together, I added a gyroid worker, and I managed to find this design code which I added to a wedding sign to make a sign for the plush factory's entrance. After that, I went through the entire shopping center to make any last minute additions and adjustments, and then we were done. Okay, Animal Crossers, let's go shopping at Ladybug's Stacked Shopping Center, aka let's do a final walk through the entire build from today's video. We're gonna start right here at the staircase coming from the neighborhood that we built in the last episode and descend down into the shopping center. Right off the bat, we've got our cute little machines here and the entrance into our crafty secret beach. This area ended up being one of my favorites from this entire episode. It's so pink and cute and crafty. I love this so much. If we keep walking this way, we've got our little plushy claw machine area, and then we've got this kind of wrap around the pond where you can just follow the little circle paths and get a really cute view of the entire shopping center. Again, I love how these cherry blossom trees down here kind of frame the entire space. I think that this turned out so good, and we can continue walking this way to wrap around to this little walkway. I'm just gonna go ahead and show this really quick. It goes over to these tiered bridges which will connect to the museum museum that we're gonna build in the next episode. I love how this view looks though. Look at how cute this is. I'm so excited for the museum. Comment down below if you have any ideas for that. I got some cooking, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, let's walk back over to the main attraction, the actual stacked shops. This is the Nook's Cranny. I love how it looks in front here. We've got a ton of gyroids, which add a lot of movement and kind of some liveliness to the build. I love how this little balloon looks too. I don't know if I showed that before in the video or if I added that later, but it's so cute. Let's also go up here and take a look at the Able sisters up on this cliff. So adorable. All of the colors are just so bright and happy. And again, it reminds me of Justice, which was my favorite store to go into back then. I know that I said the secret beach was my favorite area, but this plush factory is definitely actually my favorite spot out of this entire build. It is so cute. Look at all of the shelves, all the plushies, all the colors. I also added that festival item in the back on the rock there to kind of frame it a little bit more, and I think it turned out so cute. Up here is nothing special, just a walkway leading to the bridge again, which will go over into the museum area, which this looks crazy right now. There is nothing but a bunch of flowers and sticks. So I think this area turned out so cute. I'm really happy with the shopping center. There are some fun views that you can get like right here on this cliff. And yeah, I think that that's pretty much everything to see. Thank you for tuning into another episode, Animal Crossers. If you made it this far, comment down below which store was your favorite when you went to the shopping mall back then. Or if you go now, you can let me know your favorite one now. Anyways, I will see you in the next one. Bye! Hey Animal Crossers, and welcome back to Ladybug Island. This is my island inspired by 2000s nostalgia and my own childhood. We've made a ton of progress on this island, and today I'm planning on tackling another huge build on Ladybug, the island's museum. I grew up in the time of Bill Nye and the Magic School Bus, where science was super exciting and all about discovery and being kind to the planet. I wanted to make a grand area for my museum that captures all of those themes: dinosaurs, bugs and fish, research, stargazing, epic terraforming. I want Ladybug's museum to have it all. If you like Animal Crossing videos, you're in luck because I post daily shorts and weekly videos, so be sure to subscribe and join your fellow Animal Crossers. Sit back, relax, and let's get started with episode 6 of this island design series. Welcome to the bulletin board, where I give you any fast and quick island updates that are unrelated to today's island designing before we get into it. Not much has happened here on Ladybug since you've last seen it, so I'll just show you this really cute video of my cat Levi and this cute new plant that I just adopted. So where is Ladybug's Grand Museum going to be located? I thought we could use this back left corner of my island, which is already framed nicely by the river and has these 3 bridges connecting to the area. I think it's the perfect amount of room for some cool terraforming and a bunch of different themed outdoor exhibits. This plan also leaves the bottom left corner of my island the only thing left to decorate. Wow, honestly, I'm just now realizing how little of island we have left after this. Anyways, back to preparing this area for the museum. This space is mostly empty. There's just a lot of trees, flowers, and my island's campsite up here, which I've decided to leave in the area for reasons you'll see later. As for everything else, I removed it all. Every tree, flower, stick, rock, and yes, even every single weed from the area was pulled, and I got rid of this tiny pond that came with the island's default layout. Once I had everything cleared out, it was time to visit some treasure islands because this is going to require a ton of very specific items that I do not have. Now it's time to start terraforming and putting our plan for this museum into action. I want this bridge here to be the main entrance into the museum area, so I planned on centering everything with it. The idea is for the museum building to be up on a cliff with double staircases, front and centered, surrounded by several themed outdoor exhibits. I took the in-game dirt pathway, and starting from the bridge, I led it up towards the cliffs, making it only 2 wide. The rest of the road that I used on my island is 4 wide, but I thought it would be interesting to switch it up for the museum. Plus, having less pathway would give me more room for the huge outdoor exhibits I was planning. I wanted this pathway to make a T shape with another pathway up here connecting to this bridge on the right and beyond all the way over to where the land meets the beach on the left. Next, I wanted to clean up the shape of this cliff a little bit so that it would all be flush with the pathway in the front and against the beach on the left side. Once I had that done, I started planning out the locations for the double staircases. At first, I placed them centered with the entry pathway with 4 blocks between them. I carved 2 blocks deep into the cliff for each staircase and then brought the cliff in between them forward 1 block so that it's right up against the pathway. This was was looking so satisfying and I was so happy until I suddenly remembered that the museum needs to be centered with all of this, and that building is 5 blocks wide, so this was not gonna work. I moved over this left incline by 1 block, so now there were 5 blocks between each staircase and the museum can be easily centered with those. But now there was another problem, the entry pathway. It's 2 blocks wide, so it can't be centered here, and look, my brain was working really hard trying to solve this problem and figure out a way for all of this to work. I even called him back up and had Patrick try to figure it out, but we came to the conclusion that it was impossible for the 5 block wide museum to be centered with this 4 block wide bridge and the 2 block wide road, so it was just gonna have to stay like this. I took turns time traveling and placing infrastructure kits to move in all the inclines in the museum itself. You might remember from the last episode that this bridge over here is actually part of a double bridge design that I made, so I wanted to connect the second upper level bridge to the museum pathway up here. I used these green bricks on this side, so I repeated that and connected it to my dirt pathway over here. I realized that this was centered with the campsite above, which I'm going to convert into the museum space center and stargazing area, so I went ahead and led the pathway to the cliff and cleaned up the cliff shape and added another incline going up there as well. I time traveled one last time to get everything in place, and now we had the base layout for our museum build. Before we start getting into the details, I wanted to add my regular path border to the dirt pathway to finish off the road. Since this road is 2 blocks wide, the regular path sides ended up looking really weird, so I decided to try something different. At first I covered the dirt in these bricks that match my road, but it was way too overwhelming, so I removed some to make them alternate with the plain dirt pathway. This looked way better, but I wasn't convinced, so I tried adding in this green brick too, but I hated that, so I decided to go back to the original plan. Now that all that's done, it's time to start adding the magic. I wanted to showcase a bunch of different botanical items and make a diverse display of plants and wildlife in a grand entrance to the museum area right off this bridge. I thought it would be really pretty and would just look super satisfying and beautiful. I started by taking some hedges and lining the sides of the path, leaving 1 space between each hedge. In between the hedges, I added these hyacinth lamps, round street lamps, and these bunny day balloons. Then I started putting together this symmetrical botanical display on either side of the path. I used a ton of different natural items like the pine tree, mushroom partition, these cherry blossom umbrellas that look like giant flowers, and I placed some gyroids around to add sounds to the space. I was super inspired by botanical gardens that I visited in real life, where they just have an arrangement of all kinds of different plants from all kinds of different places. For the gyroids, I chose the brustoid and the spikenard since those made the most sense to me because they sound like natural birds and bugs. I used a ton of different shrubs instead of the usual azaleas that I've been using all over the island, and I kept everything symmetrical as possible. When adding flowers to the area, I decided to break the symmetry a little but kind of keep it still going. I alternated pairs of colors, so where I put pink hyacinths on this side, I put orange tulips on the other, and same with green mums and yellow lilies and the white cosmos and lily of the valleys. I added mush logs with nova lights on top, and my favorite detail from the botanical entrance, I placed these symmetrical mammoth fossil displays. I continued filling up the space with more items that I thought fit well, like mushroom lamps, bug models, statues, and more flowers. In this little spot between the staircases in front of this cliff, I made a cute seating area with the Brewster cookies since his cafe is in the museum. I was feeling really happy with how the botanical display was looking at this point, and I really didn't want to add any more to it, but there were still these little leftover spaces on either side of the T-shaped pathway, so I decided to turn them into a cozy picnic area and a community garden. Starting with the cozy picnic area, I thought it would fit perfectly in this space on the right near the double bridges. This museum build is highly inspired by field trips that I took in my childhood, and I feel like we always had to bring a packed lunch to those, so I wanted to make a picnic where you could eat your packed lunch for the day. I laid out the blanket, added a fence to frame it, and of course included some food for whoever is picnicking here. To fill up the rest of the space, I went with a countryside theme and included items like a windmill, a museum angled sign, these mountain standees, this retro transportation stop, and a wagon. Now for the space on the left side over here, let's make a community garden. I started with all the crops except for pumpkins and planted them with 1 space in between. I was gonna leave them like this, but decided to add dirt pathway in between to complete the rectangular dirt patch, which I ended up liking better. I wanted to keep this side loosely symmetrical to the other, so I placed some fencing in the same fashion and included another angled signpost. This time the sign has a little fish pointing to the beach because I'm planning on making a fish study there. I spruced up the area with a ton of garden items that I thought made sense, using this flower display case as the centerpiece. I removed some of the fence to make room for this outdoor pond, which I'm so glad I did because it seriously makes this area look so much better. I finished the community garden with a party lights arch, some more plant items, and this cute gyroid. I made sure to water the crops every day until they grew to make sure that they grew in super full and looked really good. Now that we got the plant/botanical outdoor exhibit done, I thought it would be perfect for the outdoor fish exhibit to be on this beach and kind of like a research area. I didn't have any specific ideas, I just wanted it to look like fish were being studied here, so I obviously chose decor that fit into a beachy study vibe. I decorated this back rock first since I thought that this yellow lighthouse would be perfect as a backdrop for the entire beach. I feel like I always add lighthouses to my beaches, but they look so good, can you blame me? Over on this rock, I added a study table complete with a microscope, fish, and a pink laptop because don't forget this island is 2000s girlhood nostalgia themed, so I wanted to make sure pops of that came through even in this fishy area. I set up another study spot over here for this crab, and then I made an entrance display sort of thing over here where you first enter the beach, which includes a donation box if anyone wants to donate to the fish research that's happening back here, plenty of weeds, and added some more colorful design codes to the sand to pull it all together with the rest of my island. I time traveled to see the coconut grow and to overgrow the weeds, and I love the way that this fish research station turned out. The museum doesn't have space right in front of it, but there is this little patch here between the double staircases, so I thought that we could make a little entrance display for the building. I'm not gonna lie, I struggled so much with this little spot. I tested out so many item combos and they all just looked off. I don't know why, but they did. The only part that I really liked was the opposite mantis models that I placed. I ended up just leaving those with this log bench and coming back to the area later to add some flowers. Other than that, to wrap up the museum's entrance area, I placed 2 more of these Bunny Day balloon items. Now it's time to tackle the outdoor insect exhibit, which is going to be directly to the left of our museum's entrance up on this cliff. I started by bringing over some of the dirt pathway, and then I suddenly decided that we needed some more cliffscaping and some waterfalls and ponds up here. Especially since this is an area for bugs, I feel like having a natural feature with water would make sense for the insects to live in. I made a small cliff pretty close to the edge here, and then took my waterscaping tool to make a tiny pond and waterfall. This looked really cute, but I felt like it needed a lot more, so I added another waterfall connecting to the first and a tiny pond on the lower level for it to pour into. Now this is looking a lot more natural and like it could be a great habitat for some bugs. I finished bringing in the dirt pathway, added my colorful brick design to it, then I brought in some flowers, shrubs, and trees to fill not only just the insect spot we're working on, but also this is when I added some stuff to the entrance area too. Once I had some natural stuff in the area, the vision started coming to me and I decided that I wanted to build another little research station down here against the cliff's edge, this time for the bugs. And then I'll just have the rest of the place be a natural habitat full of different bug models. I fenced off a small space with some yellow iron fencing for the study zone and set up a sloppy table with some bugs, a camera, and another pink laptop. I kept adding bug models, flowers, shrubs, and any other items I thought would fit until the space was full and I literally couldn't fit anything else. Back in this area behind the insect exhibit and the museum building itself, I wanted to create a dinosaur exhibit with tons of fossils. I started by laying out the dirt pathway back here. I went with a simple T-shape again so that you could just walk along the back of the island and it would be full of dinosaurs. Once I had the pathway done, I went to a treasure island and grabbed a ton of different fossils, not really knowing what they looked like, but just grabbing enough to cover the area. There isn't much room back here, literally just enough for the fossil displays and some hedge fencing, so it didn't take long to place some fossils down and get this area wrapped up. Back in this area where there wasn't room for another full fossil, I put the smaller one down on top of some green brick, which I thought added a nice detail to this area. Once I had all the fossils here, I did some landscaping, adding a ton of flowers and some trees too. I feel like this part really made it come together. This is also when I decided to add a little toy dinosaur to the picnic that we built in the botanical entrance area earlier. I had to show this because he's so cute. Comment down below any name ideas for him. Now for the last build segment of today's episode, the Space Center. I want most of the Space Center to be up on this cliff here, but there's also this transitional area down here connecting our museum to the Space Center cliff and to this bridge over here too. I decided to start down here, and y'all, I was struggling with this area too. I experimented a lot with different items and layouts at the beginning, and it took me a while to finally settle on something that I liked. I used some of the zodiac sign items and also tried to include different vending machines for any museum visitors. Let me know what you think of how this part turned out. This area is a little random. Now let's head up onto the cliff for the actual Space Center. My campsite is supposed to act like the observatory of this area, and I'm hoping that it will have the full tent on the island's dream address when you guys come to visit, because it really looks like an observatory when it's full like that. I time traveled to try and find a day when a camper was on my island for this video to show you, but I failed. So yeah, you're gonna have to use your imagination, but it's okay, that's perfect since that's what KIDCORE nostalgia is all about. I really wanted to use the gazebo item since it reminds me of an observatory too, and I thought that it would fit really well out here. My original plan was to place it directly between the campsite and the staircase to kind of combine it with the campsite as one giant observatory-esque type thing, but it wouldn't fit here, so I settled on placing it to the left of the campsite instead. To balance things out, I placed a pergola directly on the other side, and then I added these floating asteroids in the front of the campsite to keep the symmetry going and to add some more celestial vibes to the area. On the right side with the pergola, I laid out a picnic blanket and added a telescope for some stargazing. I also threw in some fun space-themed items to fill up the area and make it more on theme, like the astronaut and satellite. On the left side with the gazebo, I decided to go with an alien theme and add a UFO. Then I fenced off the area, placed a table with some celestial items, and to finish everything off, I made another symmetrical display, this time with crescent moon chairs. With that, we were done with the entire build, all of the outdoor exhibits, and it was time to finally tour it all together. Okay, Animal Crossers, let's start at this bridge going right into the botanical entrance. I love how this looks so much. All of the little gyroids like moving around and making sounds is amazing as well. I love the view up here too. Let me go back and show you how it looks. It's so pretty. I wish that you could see the museum off in the distance, but it's okay. It's too far away. This build is way too big. And before we actually get into everything, let me show you what it looks like on my island's map. I think this area turned out so cool. I love the waterscaping in the bug exhibit. I'm really glad that I decided to add that in. Back to the botanical entrance here. This looks so colorful and cozy. I love the little seating spot with the Brewster cookie as well. And over here on the right side, we can go to the picnic area, which turned out so cute. This kind of reminds me of like a Japanese countryside island, and it makes me want to just make an entire Japan themed island, I'm not gonna lie. I also love how this looks with the symmetrical stuff above it. Look at this view. Look at that. That is so cute. The little what are those? Goats? They're like kissing up there. It's so cute. Now let's head over to the left side to check out the community garden. I also love how this space turned out. The little gnome is so cute. He's like running the entire place. I also added a little pocketbook here with some flower like studies going on, which I thought was really fitting. And over on the beach is our fish exhibit, which is also a research station. Let me clean up some of these seashells. There's not supposed to be that many. Oh yeah, and I added a snapping turtle while you were not looking, so he's here now. There's some research areas back here. This is looking so cute. Let's head up to our actual museum up here. This is the little entrance spot that I was struggling with so much. I actually like how it ended up being so simple. I think I wanted something more grand, but the truth is this area was just way too small for something like that. I did add this little like bug book though, which I thought looked really cute. And to the left, speaking of bugs, this is our bug exhibit and research station area. I love this so much. The little ponds are so cute. Again, the waterscaping, I'm really glad that I decided to add that. And this little spot here is super cute too. I feel like I'm a little researcher. And then there's also the giant T-Rex in the back, which looks really nice. And the T-Rex is back there because this is the outdoor fossil exhibit. I love this spot too. I think this might be my favorite spot of this entire build. I think it's so cool. All the fossils at the back of the island just look really nice. The view back there is super cool with just like the endless ocean. Yeah, it's really pretty. Now let's walk this way and go see the final outdoor exhibit. There's this transitional space here that leads up over to it. This is pretty simple. There's not much happening here, just some vending machines and a little walkway with some of the zodiac sign items, because this leads into the space center of the museum. This is so cute. I wish that my campsite tent was here because I swear it's gonna look so much better, but you'll just have to use your imagination. On the left side is like an alien UFO themed area with the gazebo and the little like lookout tourist telescope thing. And then on the right side is a little astronaut telescope rocket satellite themed area. I don't know, like I just threw a bunch of random stuff here, but I think it looks good. Okay, it looks cute. It's space themed, and that was the point. I think that the trees and the little moon chairs are definitely the best part of this. Thank you all for watching another Ladybug Island design episode. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. We only have a small section left to decorate on the island, so the end is near. Hey Animal Crossers, and welcome back to Ladybug Island. This is my KIDCORE island inspired by the early 2000s and 2010s, and y'all, now that I know that the 3.0 update is coming out in January, I just need to get this island finished, especially since I want to start a new island once the update is here, and I only have this bottom left area of Ladybug left to decorate, so let's just get it all done in today's episode. If you like Animal Crossing videos, you're in luck because I post daily shorts and weekly videos, so be sure to subscribe and join your fellow Animal Crossers. I started Ladybug around 7 months ago, and while I love this island so much, I am ready to move on to a new island and theme. I have so many ideas for what I want to do next, and let me know in the comments if you have any specific requests. To get me motivated to finish this island, I started with the build that I was most excited for, the Celestial Cafe that I wanted to go against the river in this area. I wanted a dreamy and pastel area full of celestial items and some of the Sanrio furniture too. This aesthetic reminds me of my childhood so much, and I thought that the colors and theme would go perfectly with the rest of Ladybug too. I terraformed a small cliff with some waterfalls and a heart-shaped pond for the area. I felt like these gave it a very dreamy vibe. Then I took my magic stone pathway and started making a pathway of circles going through the build. Y'all know I love making circles with my walkways. It just looks so fun, and it kind of reminds me of bubbles or something. I also thought that this pathway was perfect since it's very swirly and it kind of looks celestial. Using 2 crescent moon chairs, cinema roll parasols, humidifiers, and a counter, I made a little checkout area for the customers to place their orders at the cafe. Directly in front of the checkout, I began putting together the cafe seating area using Sanrio furniture from all the different sets. I also chose to use these glowing moss stools as seats because I thought they looked like little pink clouds or something. Of course, I put some Nova lights around too, and over in this little corner, I made a spot for stargazing with some pretzels. This was looking like a great cafe so far, and I was so happy with the size, I decided to close off the area with some fencing. I needed some flowers, shrubs, and trees though because this place was looking so bare, so I visited a treasure island and spruced up the cafe with some nature, which completely transformed the area and made it look so colorful and happy. I really wanted to have a cozy space with a crescent moon chair and some trees, so I decided to do that right outside of the cafe since I didn't really have any room inside. I ended up creating like a front yard for the cafe with this green brick walkway going through it, connecting to the crescent moon chair area. I added more Sanrio furniture, these cute handheld lanterns with celestial designs on them, and I just tried to make this spot feel like really lush and kind of like an entrance to the cafe. Now I also had to make an entrance to this entrance that I just built down this way, which is going to connect to the rock garden that I'm planning on building down here. I started messing around with my green grass pathway and ended up getting this really cool diamond shaped design that I thought looked so amazing. I added 3 circles of grass below it too to make this pathway display even more unique, and terraformed 2 cliffs on either side to elevate it even more. I was loving the way this looked. It was looking so grand, and I thought it was perfect for an enchanting rock garden, but I knew that there was one thing that could make it even better: a bridge. The only problem was that I had no river in this area for a bridge to go over, and there is no way that I could make that work. I've seen other Animal Crossers just build like a pond that's just big enough for a bridge, not connecting to any river or anything, so I thought that I would just give that a try just to see if it looked good in this area. I chose the suspension bridge and placed it right here in this tiny pool of water, and when I came back the next day, I was so surprised to see how good it looked in this build. I wanted to add some waterfalls to the cliffs that I made, so I thought it would be a great idea to connect those to this little bridge pond and have some cute winding waterscaping going through the rock garden. I led the water from the pond to the cliffs, and over here I got carried away with the waterscaping and made these little shapes in the land, but I ended up removing those later, so just ignore that for now. Once I had the little streams done, I terraformed double waterfalls for each cliff, which brought together everything so nicely. This area was feeling so dreamy. This was going to be the perfect rock garden with its own celestial cafe nestled in the back. I was so happy with the build at this point. Before I started bringing in the island rocks and decorating this garden, I needed to pause and head up to this cliff over here. This needs to be decorated first so that the rocks don't try spawning here. It's the last land area besides the rock garden that needs to be decorated, and I thought it would be perfect to keep it simple with a symmetrical fountain display with some seating, especially because it leads over to my island's museum. I don't know, I thought it made sense. I got started by placing a huge patch of my grass pathway for the fountain to go on top of, and some round street lamps to match the ones at the museum in the distance. Of course, I put down the fountain and then I surrounded it with log benches, and for the rest of the cliff, I kept a cozy vibe going with some random items that I thought matched the area, and I added a ton of more trees to make it feel even more cozy. crazy. After adding some design codes and finishing touches, the fountain display was complete and I was really happy with how it turned out. Now back to the rock garden. I was really lucky and I already have 3 rocks that naturally spawned in this area, so I only needed to move the last 3 here. This is when I decided to take away this random waterscaping that I made to make room for the rocks to spawn. Now to get the rocks to respawn, you just have to break them by hitting them when you've eaten food and have extra energy. The next day, rocks will respawn and only 1 rock can spawn daily, so if you destroy multiple, they'll only spawn back 1 at a time once a day. I destroyed every rock, so now all I had to do was time travel day by day, trying to get the rocks to land in this area one by one. I didn't really care where in the rock garden it spawned, I just wanted them to be in the general area. I figured this would be easy because I have completely covered the rest of my island top to bottom with items, so many flowers, trees, everything, and there was really nowhere for rocks to spawn, or so I thought. I was shocked to find out during this process that rocks can spawn on dirt pathways, which is what I've used for the entire road around my island. When I loaded up the game, I found the daily rock spawned in the road, so I removed it and tried again, only for it to keep happening again and again. I was feeling so lost. It would take forever to cover my pathway and custom designs or items to prevent this from happening, so I decided to just pause the rock garden yet again and finish up decorating the beaches around here, the only other thing I still need to complete. Yes, I was just procrastinating the rock garden, I know. Starting with the beach over here below the peninsula, I took my green pathway and made, yes, more circles. I literally took them from one end of the beach to the other, filling in the spaces between with other designs and some weeds. I thought this pathway looked so cute and fit the rock garden area above so perfectly. Now for furniture and decorations, I wanted this to be a very colorful and fun beach with just a ton of random but whimsical objects. On the right side, I made a froggy chair seating area, and next to that, I made a colorful mushroom area with a beach blanket and some juice. Then to the right of that, towards the middle of the beach, I designed an entirely blue area with a bunch of different blue items. For this area, I went with a very classic beach theme too, using classic beach items. I thought it was so cute. For the last section of this beach, right next to the peninsula, I made a dessert shop with more of the Sanrio items, this ice cream display item, and of course a Wallopoid, my favorite gyroid, to work there. I made some fun seating with these orange tables and shell stools, and coconut trees and flowers really brought this beach to life. Once I was done adding those, it looked amazing. The next beach above the peninsula started with a very long winding pathway design that I made with the magic stone pathway. Can you tell I was having so much fun with the pathways this episode? I used this to match the Celestial Cafe and the stuff that is right beside this beach, and because of that, I also decided to make this entire beach a celestial theme to match the cafe. I went with a pretty simple design since I already had so many items in this area. I wanted to avoid adding too much lag. I used an assortment of Nova lights and star clocks to line the pathway with a few more details like crescent moon chairs on either end of the path and this telescope over here. Back to the rock garden. To spawn the 3 remaining rocks into the area, I had to take things offline, meaning I played handheld on my couch where I could not screen record my Switch. You might have seen my Instagram stories. I was struggling, but eventually after a few hours, I did manage to get all of the rocks into the area. Once that was done, that meant the final and last thing to do was decorate the rock garden. Then we'd be done with Ladybug Island. Why am I so emotional right now? I'm gonna miss this island so much. This rock garden and Celestial Cafe actually ended up being one of my favorite builds on the island, and I'm really happy it was the last build. It made for such a nice ending to this series. Of course, I gave the rock garden a slightly celestial theme to match the cafe, adding some star clocks and a moon to the cool pathway design that I made. And on this side of the garden, closest to my island's entrance, I added some more pathways, made a seating area with this blue cute furniture and some muffins, made another relaxing seating area down here with a gazebo to connect to the beach and my entrance. And over on the peninsula, I created a musical performance area with some instruments. It's a little random, but I thought it ended up fitting well with everything else. Of course, I had to fill in the rest of the area with flowers, shrubs, and a few more trees. And once everything was nice and full, this area looked beautiful and I was so happy with the results. Let's just say it was totally worth all the trouble it took to spawn the rocks here. I love how it turned out. Before finishing my island and uploading it to the Dream Suite, I time traveled to a day with the campsite visitor so that my campsite would look like the observatory it's meant to look like next to my museum. And then I went around picking up any sticks, digging up any fossils, and cleaning up everything to make sure that the island was literally perfect. I won't be revealing the dream address in this video, so you'll have to wait for the final island tour video, which I'm planning to upload soon. Don't worry though, I'm not going to end the video without giving you a final tour of everything we've designed in today's episode. Okay, I'm recording this after the rest of this video, so it is a different time, but I'm gonna show you the entire area that we designed in Ladybug episode 7. So let's check it out. Starting here at my entrance, now you can go up the staircase and see this beautiful fountain area that we designed. I am in love with this. I especially love this little area with this pond stone. I know it's like a really small detail, but I think it looks so cute with this little bug design in front of it, and the little park back there is just so adorable. And over here again we have the fountain display, this picnic area. I ended up adding a lost item to this, and some tree stumps over here too. I thought they looked so cute, and I love how you can sit on them. It's kind of hard to. Look at how cute this is. I love the tree stumps here. You can also see into the rock garden and the cafe down there a little bit, which I think is adorable. There's a lot of trees. It's super cozy. And down this way, this leads you to my island's museum. I think it all fits together so well and flows very nicely. Also, I added this bubbloid here, blowing bubbles, so you can have that in the background of your photo if you decide to take one here on this bench. I think it's such a cute photo op. Now let's head back down here into the rock garden. This area turned out so cute. I love the windmill in the back. We got some yummy muffins here and a seating area. Lots of flowers. I tried to make it very lush. This leads down here to a gazebo, which connects over to my island's entrance. I love the Bruceoid here. He is like just screaming and yelling. It's so cute. I also love that there's so many seating areas around here. It makes it so cozy in my opinion. And then down this way, we go into our beaches, which turned out so nice and colorful. I really love these. These are so happy and joyful. All of the items are just kind of like random and colorful and maybe a little whimsical. I think it's so cute. It goes really nicely with the rest of the island too, and I just feel like the colors and everything, it reminds me of my childhood and it makes me really happy. I love the blue themed area here. I think this is so cute. Also, I hope you noticed this little tiger design code in the sand. I love that one. And also the dessert shop. Oh my gosh, Gulliver is here. I hope he's not in the dream address. Oh my gosh, that'd be so bad if I saved him in the dream address. Does he show up there? Because he's kind of ruining the build here. But anyways, this is a dessert shop with the Wallapoi gyroid. He is serving some ice cream, and you can take a seat here at these orange tables. Back over here, you can hop across the water and go on this bridge and see this really pretty display with the moon and the street lamps, all of the trees, and the really cool pathway design that I made. I think that this turned out really cool, and I added these ladders so that you can climb on top of the cliffs too and get some cool views. I love this so much. This is so unique. I had no plans on doing anything like this, and I'm so happy that it ended up happening because this is so beautiful. I love this so much. You can also hop back here onto the peninsula where I have this little like outdoor pond and the musical performance area. This is really random, but I think it works okay. Now let's jump back over this way and head to the Celestial Cafe that is hidden back here. There's this little like outdoor entrance walkway where there's some storage, a little bike parking, some lanterns around, and a crescent moon chair, and a little entrance into this celestial beach area, which we'll check out in a second. But this leads into the cafe right here. Oh my gosh, this is so cute with the heart-shaped pond, and you can also see like the bamboo and the fossil from the museum in the background way back there, and I think that adds so much to this build. There's the checkout area here where I've added a Kiki and Lala cloud machine so that it looks like the little cat there is taking your order. I think that that is so cute, y'all. The humidifiers too, I think they add so much, like blowing out the little clouds. I thought that it matched the celestial vibes, and all the Sanrio furniture looks so happy. I love all the sweet treats everywhere, like the rainbow ice cream. The heart-shaped pond and the waterfalls just make it so dreamy, and I really love how this space turned out. I'll show you over here too. There's like a little stargazing spot, another gyroid back there too. I love adding gyroids on this island, and a couch here too so you can sit down. There's just so many places to sit and enjoy the island, which I love. And again, there is the celestial beach here, which just has a bunch of nova lights and star clocks and even more crescent moon chairs and a telescope so you can stargaze even more if you want to. I really hope that you enjoyed these builds. I think that they were the perfect way to end the island. Thank you all so much for joining me on this island design series. I had so much fun trying out the KIDCORE aesthetic. It was a really wholesome experience recreating my childhood in my favorite video game. I really can't wait to share the final tour and dream address with you all. It's gonna be so fun to see you visiting the island. I'll also be making a full movie combining every Ladybug episode just like I did with Lumi, including this one, so you might actually be watching the movie right now. Either way, thank you so much for watching this island design series. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey Animal Crossers, it's Tiger, and we are back on Ladybug Island today after what feels like forever for, yes, the full final tour of the island. This is my 2010s girlhood island, heavily inspired by my own childhood. Think of Lisa Frank, the Magic School Bus, Bratz, Webkins, Hannah Montana, and Easy Bake Ovens. Those are the types of things this island is inspired by. I finished Ladybug a few months ago, but I've been waiting for this beautiful custom map commission and waiting for when I was ready to start a new island. Sorry if I've been keeping you on the edge of your seats for this, but today is finally the day. We are going to take a final walk through Ladybug Island. I'll give you the dream address, and I'll also be uploading the full Ladybug movie featuring every episode from the island design series all together so you can watch the island from start to finish here in the next few days when I post it. If you love Animal Crossing videos, you're in luck because I post tons of them, so be sure to subscribe and join your fellow Animal Crossers here on YouTube, and check out my short videos on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and here on YouTube too. Here is the map for Ladybug Island featuring all of my villagers, and the dream address is at the bottom of the screen. Please visit the dream address while you watch the rest of this tour video. I think it is super fun for y'all to follow along during the video. Like I mentioned before, I commissioned this amazing custom island map that you can screenshot or download with the link below that features labeled areas and a more detailed look that might help you navigate the island a little better. Thank you to Frog Princess Tattoo on Instagram for creating this lovely map for me. Anyone who wants to make a video or post about visiting Ladybug Island, please feel free to do so. You don't have to ask, just tag me so I can see it. And on that note, you are also free to copy this island and any of the ideas or builds. I do not care at all. That is why I make these island design series, so that I can give you inspiration and show you how fun it can be to decorate an island to a theme. Okay, we are starting the tour here at the entrance of Ladybug. Of course, right when you come out of the airport, you'll be at the plaza when you join from the Dream Suite, but as you can see, it is a very close walk to the entrance, so you can very quickly get to where I am. The entrance is very simple and features a cute walkway and the main road that I used on my island. I didn't want Ladybug to feel too much like a city, but I did want it to feel like a small town or a cozy neighborhood, and I think that using the dirt pathway with this border does a really good job capturing that vibe. I'll put the custom code on the screen for this little pathway border, and if you're wanting to download any of the custom designs that you see on this island, I have a Pinterest board with all of them linked down below. My favorite part about Ladybug's entrance is definitely this photo op with the standee items. I think this looks so cute. It has Tom Nook and Timmy and Tommy. It says welcome to my island. I will put the code for this on the screen as well. I get asked about this one a lot. I just love that it's an interactive item, so you can actually take photos here. I've also got some bubbles and a little camera out here just to add to the photo op effect. I feel like this was the perfect thing to put at the entrance so you can get a perfect souvenir photo on the island. To the right of the entrance, there's this really cozy walkway with this pretty green brick pattern. I included a public bench for any island visitors coming from the airport, along with a lot of cute items that match the 2010s girlhood theme, like this tricycle, a juice box, a balloon, and of course a ladybug, because the island's name is Ladybug. Speaking of which, this is a custom design dress that I made just for this island that has a ladybug on the back, and you can pick it up over here at the plaza, I'm pretty sure, if you access the custom design portal. And on that note, I wanted to give a special thanks to the subscriber who created the custom flag design for Ladybug Island. I love how this turned out and it is so cute. Let's just take a moment and admire this. It is just so so adorable. I love it. Anyways, back to the tour. We have this cute walkway that leads over to this little tiny beach area where I have my favorite beach build on the entire island. This is a ladybug painting class with a gyroid teacher. It is so adorable. I just think it's so simple and cute, and I am obsessed with the color combinations here. And up here there is also a bathroom and trash area where I am also just obsessed with the colors. That is the whole reason why I made this area. I just wanted to use the portable toilet item because the colors that it comes in are just so cute, and I feel like they are perfect for the 2010s girlhood theme. I feel like the best way to describe this color scheme is by comparing it to Skittles or Starburst candy. It's just so colorful and like juicy. I don't know. Like I said before, the plaza is really close to the entrance, so it's kind of like attached to the entrance. It doesn't really have like its own build or anything like that, but there is this little crafting and DIY station right in front of it where I set up a stall with some like paper crafts, and I also have a storage shed and my workbench. I thought this was really practical for when I was decorating the island to have like an easy little workstation to access, and also it just looks so cute and reminds me of all the crafts that I did in my childhood. I also got some chalk and a little like hopscotch design on the ground here, which I think looks so cute. And speaking of that, I have sprinkled a lot of design codes kind of along the road to make it a little bit more colorful and fun. Along the other side of the plaza, there is this little seating area with the pink symmetrical benches and shrubs. I think this is so cozy, and I did another like pathway with this green brick to match the other part of the island. And across from this, there's a little walkway and a vending machine area where you can grab a snack before heading out into the rest of the island. There's also a spot to sit down on this fountain and another bench facing the river. I thought this was really cute and kind of reminded me of the bench from Animal Crossing New Leaf. If you know, you know. And then up this way is Ladybug's schoolyard. I am so excited about this part. This is probably my favorite area on the island. I do love the neighborhood. We'll get to that later, but the schoolyard is just so wholesome and so cute. I found this perfect sign that I have here as well at the entrance, and then you can walk in, and here is the schoolhouse, which is just my house. It is not decorated as a school on the inside, sadly. I am so sorry to disappoint, but it does look like a little schoolhouse on the outside, and I think it's so cute. And we have a little outdoor classroom. Since I didn't make any on the inside, I thought it would be cuter anyway if they were outside. So we've got some chairs, and it looks like they're doing some sort of like study with some ants, which is kind of questionable, but it's okay. I love the little gyroid teacher. It is so cute. This way we have some parking for any of the students with a skateboard, and a little locker room area with tons of cute items, including a soccer ball, and also these scattered papers that have this little like ladybug doodle design. I thought that it was perfect for this island. I think one of my favorite details is this little like green grass pathway and how I've made these little circles that lead over here. It just seems so whimsical, and I just love the giant pencil and all the papers and just little crafty details. It reminds me of elementary and middle school, which was a fun time. It was awkward, but it was also fun, and I'm always reminiscing. I miss all of my childhood toys. I wish that I would have saved them, but I did not save like hardly any. It is horrible. Anyways, over here is a little soccer field with a gyroid. It's kind of overgrown, but I think that it makes it super cute and cozy. We have another bench right here. You can kind of see some of the stuff going on in the background, which I think is nice. And this wraps around to this little tiny park that is on the other side of the island's plaza. So we kind of like circle back here. I think this is so cute. I love all of the pastel colors and all these items. There are some new like kitty items with the 3.0 update that recently came out that I feel like would have been perfect for this island. I feel like the Lego items would have been perfect too, but this is a 2.0 island, and I can't even change anything. I'm actually visiting the dream address of this island. I'm not even here as like my character, so we'll probably run into my past self eventually on this tour. Anyways, to continue going through the schoolyard, we do have the treehouse library. This is so adorable. I am so proud of this. We've got bunk beds and trees and bookshelves, a little cozy seating area where you can read a book and have some tea. I just love cherry blossom season in this game, and I'm so glad that I set this island in cherry blossom season because it looks so just like beautiful and whimsical and just perfect for the theme. Over this way, there is a book reading circle with a gyroid that I put a lot of trees around to make it seem like it was like an enchanted forest reading circle, like for fairies and I don't know, just make believe. I think it's so cute. We have little plushies as the listeners and a gyroid as the reader. And this way there is just another cute cozy picnic spot with like a little scrapbook, a tissue box, wrapping paper, the cherry speakers, just a bunch of items that reminded me of 2010's girlhood, and I think that it turned out so cute. This is one of the most like underrated spots on the island because it is such a small space, but I think it's so cute. It deserves so much hype. Over here, this leads to the island's neighborhood, but we are gonna go back and go through the main entrance to the neighborhood because that is just a side entrance, but we'll look at that more later in the tour. I'm just gonna head back this way out of the schoolyard and down here and over this bridge. This is the main entrance into the island's neighborhood, and right away we are on like the main street of the neighborhood, and here lives Puddles, the pink frog, and I think Annabelle, the anteater villager, also lives right here. I gave every villager on this island a front and backyard, and I think that they turned out so cute. Each of them have their own like custom fence that matches their house, and they each have kind of like a theme for their yards. So of course Puddles was just like a cute pink theme, and Annabelle's was like an orange and yellow theme, kind of like a tropical vibe. And then over here we also have Norma. She got kind of like a dollhouse vibe, so we have little plushies, very cute pastel items, and there's some more stuff in the back. But before I show you their backyards, I'm gonna go down here and show you this beach area that's attached to my neighborhood. I themed this as very just cute and kind of mermaidy. There's even this mermaid ice cream shop down here that I built. I am so proud of how this turned out. I usually don't do like fake buildings in this game. Every time that I try, I feel like they don't really turn out as good as some that I've seen online, but I'm really proud of this one. It's just like a big giant mermaid bakery where you can get some pastries and ice cream and different stuff like that. I thought it was a cute way to utilize some of the pink shell items and tie it into my girlhood theme. I remember being a kid and playing mermaid every time that I went to the pool with my older cousin. That is just like a core memory for me, so this is kind of dedicated to that. We also have some more just like casual pink beach settings over here. I made this cute little like walkway thing, I don't know, like this little building. I think it looks so cute. And oh my gosh, I just realized that the pier, it's outdated now. There's no hotel. Wow, take a good look. The old pier before the new update. It is so cute though. I got some mermaid furniture and flowers just to match the rest of the beach theme. And I'm gonna show you the rest of the beaches on this side of the island. They're all kind of like connected. I continued with the pink theme a little bit, and then I transitioned into like an orange and yellow themed beach. So we've just got a lot of random orange items, like literally the most random assortment of items. Of course we had to include a tiger though, of course. And then there's another little ice cream shop back here, and then it transitions into the blue beach theme, which is actually Iggly the penguin's fish market. He lives right in this blue house above here. So I made this entirely blue themed, and it's a fish market that he owns. That is the lore of this area, and of course it's just a bunch of blue items up here. We've got a cute little lighthouse and lookout area, and some more of the portable toilets, and just a ton of blue items that I thought looked really cute. There's even a ladder here that takes you to Iggly's backyard, but we will see that later. That is all of the beach on this side of the island. I just wanted to show that before we got into the neighborhood because there's no really good way to enter the beach after you leave this area. So anyways, now we are going to continue our tour into Ladybug's neighborhood. I just love the way that this like road looks here. There's so much cute symmetry with the street lamps and the trees. We've got this cute like gazebo item at the top of the staircase, which of course just makes for a beautiful scene. And then we can see all of the backyards for the villagers that live on this first road. We have Norma's backyard, which also has a birthday party attached because, again, core memory themed birthday parties in the 2010s. Those were such a vibe. Let's have more of those. I was saying when I built this that I wanted to have an Animal Crossing themed birthday party one year. I think that would be so cute. Anyways, this is Annabelle's backyard, orange themed, and then we have puddles over here with the pink theme, and then I've got some other like pink decorations along the river here, just making it look super pretty. And then we can continue walking up here, up the incline into the second tier of the neighborhood. All 10 of my villagers live in the neighborhood, by the way. All 10 of their houses are over here, and I just love how this turned out with all of their front and backyards. This is Biscuit's yard. I kind of went for a cluttered look for his. I love all of the items out in his yard. It's just so cute. And then directly across from him is Baracalo's house. He doesn't really have a strict color theme. He just has some like green and blue stuff. He does have a cute little picnic and waterfall attached to his house, and this little walkway that leads back to the schoolyard, back over to the picnic and reading circle. This is the area that we were at earlier. It connects to the neighborhood, so there's kind of like a side entrance. And then we can keep going back here and see more villager yards. We've got Biscuit's backyard. This one is one of my favorites. I just love the items here. And then we have Igly's house, which is of course a blue theme to go with the fish market that's on the beach down there for him. And over here we have Cleo's house, which has like a purple theme to match her roof, and she is literally purple too. And then we have Broccolo's backyard with some more blue and green items, and Tangy's, of course I had to do like a citrusy orange and green theme to match her house and her character design. And there's another seating area here. Since there wasn't a backyard, I just filled up the space with some chairs. I don't know, I thought that it looked cute. Let's keep going. We're almost done with the neighborhood. Up this way we have 2 more houses and some more backyards. This is Igly's backyard. I gave him some dishes and stuff to go with the fish market theme, and again there is a ladder here so you can directly access the little fish market. I think it's so cute, and he's a penguin, so it just makes a lot of sense, I think. And then back here we have Bunny and Pashmina's matching houses side by side. The lore here is that they are a couple, okay, and they share a front yard, and then they each have their own like side yard. This is Bunny's. So cute, so girly and pink. I love all of the items. And then on the other side we have Pashmina's, which is kind of blue and purple themed, but I also kept them like very symmetrical, using kind of like similarly shaped items in the same spots. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, I tried to make them look really cute and matching. And then we have Cleo's backyard, which is mermaid themed. This is probably my favorite backyard. I think it turned out so cute. Actually, I don't know, look at Tangy's. Tangy's has this like beautiful wedding arch that goes into her little orange themed yard. I don't know, this is so cute. I love the neighborhood. I'm just so proud of it. I love how when you go into the backyards, it really feels like you're like in a backyard and you can see the exterior of the house. I just think it looks so good. Usually I see people do front yards only, so I wanted to give my villagers like a full traditional neighborhood. I feel like it's also just super nostalgic. I remember being a kid running around the neighborhood acting a fool, so I wanted to have a really cute cozy neighborhood on this island. We're gonna continue down this way, which goes into Ladybug's shopping district. I do have like a craft themed secret beach over here where we have a lot of just crafty design codes and items with some access to storage and a workbench as well, which was very helpful when designing the island. We got a gacha machine, a bubblegum dispenser, and some claw machines over here. This is just very inspired by like early 2010s like shopping mall, back when they had Justice and Aeropostale and I don't know, like all of the best mall stores. I miss being able to go to the mall and just like go to the Claire's and buy random stuff, but nowadays all the malls are deserted and all shopping takes place online. Anyway, sorry about the rant. I did build this really pretty pond in front of the shopping center because I feel like my island was lacking a bunch of waterscaping, so I thought this would be a really pretty spot to have, just a nice big pond, and it makes for a pretty view of the shopping mall area on my island. I've also got some shopping carts around with gyroids, and you'll notice that there's a lot of gyroids around the shopping area. I just thought that it made it a lot more lively. We also have the Able Sisters up here on the cliff directly behind the Nook's Cranny. Not much is going on up here, but I did of course hang up the Ladybug dress. We had to have her in action up here. And my favorite part of the shopping mall area, which happened to also be my favorite part of going to any mall when I was a kid, is the plushie making studio, which is inspired by Build-A-Bear Workshop. I used to love going to Build-A-Bear as a kid. It was like the best day of my life the few times that it happened to me, and so I wanted to make a little plushie factory attached to my shopping mall area to reminisce on those times. So I added a lot of like crafty items and plushies, of course, and the Kiki and Lala like cloud maker item I thought looked like the stuffing machine at Build-A-Bear Workshop. Kind of. I feel like it kind of works for that. So yeah, that's my cute little crafty area. And all of this wraps around to my island's museum. I'm gonna take this kind of like side route to the entrance of the museum. There's a little bridge right here, and you can see this cute little picnic spot, and this takes us to the museum's entrance. I'm gonna start back here and then we'll come back and I'll show you what is this way after we check out all that is around the museum. So this is the grand museum entrance. The museum was supposed to be centered with this walkway, but it did not work out that way. If you know, you know. But this is like the big giant botanical garden section of the museum, so there's just a ton of plants and different items, different naturey items. Again, this way there is this little picnic area. This is kind of just like a filler build, and then over on this side we have a little like garden. Maybe some of the museum experts are studying the local crops and plants. I don't know, I kind of have like themed sections for each of the museum sections. There's a plant section, there's one for fish, one for bugs, and a fossil section as well. So this is the plants, and then down on this beach we have the fish area. There's a little seating spot here, lots of fishy items. It's supposed to look like a fish research zone, so there's like computers and books and little study areas. I love how this little spot turned out with the crab. I think it looks so cute. And another lookout and lighthouse, because I just think it looks so pretty when you have one on the rocks. And then let me run back this way and I'll show you the rest of the museum. We're gonna go up the grand stairwell here that leads up to the actual museum building. So cute. There's a little bench so you can sit out right in front of it. Over this way, this is the insect area, so there's another little like study zone and lots of bugs, and I just made like a natural area that I thought looked suitable for bugs to live in. And then we also have the dinosaur section in the back with all of the fossils. I love this so much. It's like outdoor museum exhibits instead of the indoor ones. I just thought it looked so cute. It's kind of like inspired by field trips that you would take as a kid. I love this spot right here with this little gyroid and the little fossil book. It's so cute. But yeah, it was inspired by field trips that I took as a kid. I remember going to a museum on a field trip. Over in this area is the space section of the outdoor museum exhibit area, and I built a little observatory using my campsite and some of these bigger items, the gazebo and the pergola. I've got some moon chairs out here and just lots of space themed items to make it look like an observatory. I think it turned out so cute. There's like a little alien area over here. Oh my gosh, look. The alien's getting abducted. I love this item so much. I feel like not enough people know about this item doing this. It's literally an alien abduction. I love this. And then on the other side of the observatory, we have some more like rocket themed items with the astronaut and the satellite as well. I think it's so cute. I just wanted to add like a little space theme to our museum exhibit. And this is where we have the bridge that crosses over back into the shopping center area. So yeah, there's connections, okay? All of my island, it flows together. I also love how this double bridge looks right here. I think it is so cute. Anyways, we are going to now head out of the museum district and we're gonna wrap back around this way for the final part of this tour. We are getting so close to finishing. If you've enjoyed the tour so far, definitely leave a comment and let me know what your favorite part has been. This is just a little filler area with a fountain and some benches and a little picnic over here. I think this is so precious, so pretty. It overlooks the little tiny park by the plaza, and this actually takes us back down near the island's entrance. So if you remember, we came in and we went off in this direction, but I didn't show you what was over here. So there is another walkway with some froggy chairs, some snacks, some cute bubbles and designs, and it leads over into this really pretty beach area where we have more froggy chairs, just some cute items. I just tried to make this very like whimsical and colorful, but also keep with the beach theme. So there's lots of like beachy items still, and there's another little ice cream stand over here with a gyroid who will serve you some ice cream if you are nice to him, okay? And then up here there is a peninsula where I just made like a little music area because I wasn't sure what else to put here at this point, so I was working with what I had in my storage. I think it turned out super cute though. Okay, so we're heading back up through here and then we're going to enter into Ladybug's rock garden. This is not your typical rock garden. My rocks are not arranged in some cute design. They are just kind of randomly throughout this area. They are just scattered around, okay? That is the best that I can do. I was having so many issues with trying to get the rocks to spawn in this area, so we just made it work, okay? I just decided to make this like very natural, very cute, kind of like a botanical garden or something. So we have all the rocks around and just like this pretty bridge and naturey display, and this all leads into a celestial cafe area. So I started adding some celestial objects around as well. Here's a little like seating area and a little storage access point. And then here is the entrance into the Celestial Cafe, which is the last build on the island that I have to show you today. This is the little checkout counter. I used the Kiki and Lala Cloudmaker item again, this time as a cashier. And then we have a bunch of celestial themed objects around, and of course a ton of snacks and stuff because it is a cafe. Oh yeah, there's also a heart-shaped pond. I forgot that I built this here. So cute. It's been a while, okay, since I've been on this island. I'm so happy to return though today to give you a tour, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. There is one last area to show you. There is a celestial themed like beach spot over here. I just threw a bunch of the star fragment items around and I made this like winding stone pathway. I think it looks so cute. I love the celestial theme so much. It reminds me of my childhood. I loved like Sailor Moon and stuff like that when I was younger, and this all very much reminds me of that. And that is the entire full tour of Ladybug Island. I hope that you all enjoyed seeing Ladybug again for the final tour. And that concludes the full Ladybug Island design series. I hope that you enjoyed the full movie, and I can't wait to hear what you all think of the island. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on my next island. Bye!